This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Wake up, Ghana, your morning star, right? News, views, inspiration, and great conversations. From Accra to the world, we bring the fresh stories, fresh energy every morning, full of fire and glory. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. Only on GhanaTalks Radio. Turn it up and stay tuned for the talk that moves you and keeps your heart in tune. From the traffic to the trends, we got something for you.
This is GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. It's a beautiful briny day, and you're welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning, and looking at the weather, I can see that today the sun shall soon shine. Yes. This is your morning companion. This is the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show, and this is also the news review. And right here, we bring you all the latest headlines making waves in the news, from business to politics, from sports to entertainment. We got you covered with the most relevant stories and informed perspectives on matters that matter to you every morning, right here on the show. My name is Ruth Essen Namfiagbadu, and you know how we do it. As usual, I'll be serving you breakfast this morning with Miss Regina Bless and Miss Debbie Adoso. Good morning to you, ladies, and you're welcome to the GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
Hope all is well. It's been a while. Yeah, it's good to be back. How is it going, Miss Debbie? How are you?
I'm good.
Looking good and cute in
Yeah.
your afro,
Thank
rocking natural girl. Regina, why are you laughing? Why are you giving her that eye? Eh? You're equally rocking your natural as well, Anna.
Natural pain.
Natural pair. Exactly. With the nice hedges. It's not edges, it's hedges.
So you didn't leave this thing here.
the baby Kelly hair.
Oh, Sam is not there.
Okay, hang your walkie.
Right, that was just by the way. We are streaming live on Facebook at GhanaTalks Radio TV, on YouTube at GhanaTalks Radio, also on X at GhanaTalks Radio. Do you want to join us this morning? Let's get interactive right here on the morning show. At this juncture, I think we'll be delving into the news stories we have this morning. With the whole controversy surrounding Good Board, this morning we'll be looking at some key highlights the CEO of Good Board actually made during an interview he actually granted on one of our sister stations. Let's get into it. Sami Jemfi explains Good Board's funding and financing structure. The Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Gold Board, Sami Jemfi, has explained how Good Board finances its gold purchases and why it is gradually moving away from relying on the Bank of Ghana as an intermediary. According to him, there's a difference between funding Gold Board's operation and financing the actual purchase of gold. He explained that under the previous domestic gold purchase program, the Bank of Ghana provided money to PMMC to buy gold on its behalf. That arrangement ended when Gold Board took over the gold trade in February 2026. Under the new system, Gold Board works with commercial banks and businesses that need foreign exchange. Initially, the Bank of Ghana helped convert CD funds from these institutions into dollars for Gold Board. Sami Jemfi stressed that this was intermediation, not the Bank of Ghana using its reserves to finance Gold Board. He said Gold Board ended the Bank of Ghana's intermediary role in July and is now exploring alternative ways to raise the dollars needed to purchase gold. These include receiving advanced dollar payments from international gold buyers and using forward foreign exchange arrangements with commercial banks. An example, he disclosed that on August 3rd, Gold Board raised $75 million through this new arrangement and converted the cedi equivalent into dollars within 48 hours without using the Bank of Ghana as an intermediary. The CEO says the ultimate goal is for Gold Board to become financially independent and operate without depending on the central bank to raise funds. He also explained that Gold Board's operational expenses are expected to be covered through its trading activities. So this is from the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Gold Board, Sammy Gyamfi, who is explaining how Gold Board finances its gold purchases and why it is gradually moving away from relying on the Bank of Ghana as an intermediary. So all what Sammy Gyamfi simply seek to tell us is that now they want to work independently without relying on the Bank of Ghana as an intermediary. And you could see that, I think yesterday he granted an interview, and also he gave people the chance to also join an X space to explain. And a whole lot of issues has been popping up ever since the 2026 media budget review was actually read. And you can hear from the opposition, which is the minority, and you can also hear from Apenyo Makin and also Upon Chroma with a whole lot of issues. And he said that he's actually ready. So he took that as an opportunity to explain to us how Gold Board is actually financing it. Right, Ms. Debbie, with a whole lot of, before we get into the controversies, what do you make of the highlights, or what Sammy Gyamfi has actually brought to light as to what is actually happening in his entity, or let me say institution, which is the Gold Board?
I feel like this is a good move, because even before this whole brouhaha, there were instances where Gold Board made a losses of about 1 million cedis, and they said they are going to go after whoever was whoever caused that kind of debt. And even before that, Bank of Ghana is an intermediary for Gold Board, and then we saw that of late it looks as if Bank of Ghana is making a lot of losses, and that was revealed by the International Monetary Fund. That was last week. It revealed that they've made Bank of Ghana said they made a loss of 214. And then IMF debunked those claims that it's a lie. It is
IMF debunking or Gold Board debunking?
No. Bank of Ghana first came out that they made losses, but the total amount they brought on board, that has to do with their gold for oil reserve. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Gold for oil reserve, that it still has a role to play under the Gold Board. When it happened like that, the total amount they brought on board that they claimed was what they lost wasn't what IMF said. IMF debunked that and said it's a lie. And they brought out a factual figure that this was what went, this is the actual debt that was caused for the gold, the trade of gold for oil reserve, and not what they said. So if Bank of Ghana is an intermediary for Gold Board, and Bank of Ghana also supersedes the gold for oil trade, and they are making such a huge loss, and then you being an intermediary for Gold Board, then it gives out a wrong signal. So I feel like if Gold Board want to disassociate themselves from Bank of Ghana, it's a good thing. It will also help the Bank of Ghana to concentrate on its own mandate and not to or how will I even put it? Not to clinch itself to the Gold Board, because if today something should happen, Gold Board might point a finger at Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana will also say it is Gold Board. So in a case where Bank of Ghana is not like an agent or an intermediary between Gold Board and the foreign market where they go to sell this gold, if something that happens, we can hold Gold Board responsible or accountable. That is, no one is an intermediary. You go to buy your gold, you go on the market, you sell it, and then you bring it back. That is not a case where Bank of Ghana will need to come for the gold in cedis and then go to sell it in dollars in the international market, and then when a loss is incurred, Bank of Ghana can disassociate itself and blame Gold Board.
Exactly.
And there is nothing you can say because Bank of Ghana is being seen as an intermediary. So Bank of Ghana can even claim that maybe the gold you are giving to them is not of good quality, and that is why they are not making the total amount they are supposed to make from each gold. But in a case where there is nothing like an intermediary and there's Gold Board on its own going there to transact business and all that, then we know that if something pops up, we can hold Sami Jemfi accountable because he is the CEO of Gold Board. So I feel like this is it's in the right direction for me.
All right, Ms. Gina, what do you also think?
Okay, so I think that it's a good move because looking at the past system, they go to the Bank of Ghana give them the finances, then the Gold Board goes to buy the gold. Now they want to take off the middleman, that is the Bank of Ghana, and stand on its own. It's good as an institution. You need to be dependent on your own. You need to make certain decisions on your own, especially when it comes to finances wise. And also with what Debbie said, it is the right step in the right direction, because at the end of the day, both of you might be acquainted, both of you might be doing businesses, but trust you, if there's a loss, one of them can either distance themselves from the brouhaha or the controversy. And I think looking at the new policy they are bringing on board, in as much as it has its positive aspects, we also need to make sure that we tackle should I say emergency solutions when it comes to the negative aspects. So looking at some of the positive aspects, first off, it would decrease pressure on the Bank of Ghana. They would have enough time to do whatever they want to do, as Debbie said. And also at the end of the day, the Gold Board would also benefit from its own new policy. Now they can run whatever decision they want to run, but mind you, as now you want to be independent, it comes with its own challenges.
Yeah.
So are you ready for the challenges? People are already criticizing you. People are already saying that, oh, for this, that. Are you ready for it? So I think aside all the criticism, the condemnation, looking at my normal and your friend is saying genuine point of view, I think is a good thing. And if only it can be controlled effectively, supervised very well, why not?
But do you think that a new financing model is actually sustainable enough for a long term, let's say?
Okay, so where they go to some of these banks, international banks, foreign investors, I think it's a good thing. It's the sustainability of it. Just say, I bet they've already tested, but they testing it was just a short period of time.
Yeah.
So they should come in fully on board, be doing it day in and day out. Then we see how it goes, if it will be sustainable or not. If it will not be sustainable, Sankofa Yenchi, you go back to Bank of Ghana.
That means that they will have to go back to bank. But do you think that is actually a good idea for Gold Board to be relying on Bank of Ghana to finance it?
No, it is not.
Yeah.
The Bank of Ghana, Gold Board is a business on its own. And it has to have every business have internally generated funds.
Yeah.
And since Gold Board came into existence, according to them, they've made quite a number of revenues. So why not just rely on those revenue?
Miss Debbie, what do you also think? Then we move on to the controversies.
For me, I feel like it's better to trust a foreign investor who you feel you can rely on.
A foreign investor?
Yes,
internally right here in our country.
Yes, because I feel like the people managing Bank of Ghana are not being sincere to us.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, what are the indicators?
Because if you should tell us that you've made a loss of 214 million and IMF should debunk that, then you should tell it that you are making more losses than you gain. So if you're making more losses than you gain, and Gold Board is also, allegedly stating that when you go to the foreign market, the international market to make sales, there are also losses. then are we going forward or we are moving backwards? All these two, shall I call them institutions? The Bank of Ghana and the Gold Board. Those are two sensitive institutions that should generate large revenue for this country. So if these two are having problem, then it means that our economy is at stake. So for me, the name gold should tell you that it is money. We shouldn't have gold and you still be relying on Bank of Ghana. I feel like Bank of Ghana should rather rely on Gold Board. That is how I see it. Because if you sell gold, you go out there, you make the money. It is after you make the money and you feel like, well, we want to, channel the money to Bank of Ghana. Maybe we have an account there where the money will be kept for us. That is fine. But in the case where Bank of Ghana is an intermediary, the whole Bank of Ghana, you're making losses. It doesn't count.
But it's not bound to happen.
It's bound to happen, but when it happens
business,
consistently, it's an error.
Right. So what do you make of the controversies from the minorities, especially from Afenyo Markin and also Kojo Okon and Nkrumah? There's been a whole lot of issues, as in they are seeking for transparency, they are scrutinizing Gold Board. Do you see it coming from a genuine place, or you see it as propaganda?
Well, others may see it as propaganda, in as much as people see it as propaganda. For me, I see it as a call from a concerned citizen. Okay, whatever the minority are doing has two faces. It might either be for propaganda's sake, or they are truly want whatever transaction Gold Board and Bank of Ghana does should be transparent. That is all we want. It should be transparent, because don't forget, at the end of the 4-year term, you need to come and account. Even if you don't account, whoever takes over that office is going to fish out the rot that went on there. So it is better to do the right thing. Start accounting to us now. Start being transparent, so that even if something happened, the very people can stand behind you and even defend you, that, well, they've even though there are claims, but at least they've been some sort of transparency. So what we are calling for is transparency. Yeah.
On the issue of transparency, we've actually seen the CEO of Gold Board moving to using one medium or the other to educate people, and also draw insight on what Gold Board's mandate is, their roles and actually responsibility.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's high time that he's given a platform on the floor of Parliament to actually elaborate and to clear the air as well, rather than going on these TV stations? Is that actually the right channel to use in the first place?
Going to the TV and radio station is the right channel. It is not wrong.
But then what happens?
Because see, all these things minority are saying, like they are retaliating to whatever he said. Whatever Sami Jenfi put across there wasn't said in Parliament. Most of the infos he put across was said on media platforms. Then through that, the minority retaliate to that. So it is not Parliament. Although Parliament is a place where business is being transacted, not in a case of money, but business, like societal developmental business is being transacted. But it is not a go-to where you stand up, no, George, you are going there to go and explain, or no. There has to be a consensus where maybe they will give you. Gold Board can only come to play through the Minister of Finance. They cannot just wake up and then, unless maybe the Minister of Finance is stating something in Parliament concerning Gold Board, and then Sami Jenfi will need to come to Parliament to explain to us why this is done that way, why this is done that way. There are orders in Parliament that needs to be followed. So Sami Jenfi cannot just stand up and then go to Parliament, but he needs to follow the rules and the orders of Parliament.
Right. That was from Ms. Debbie. Thank you so much. And we've heard from Sami Jenfi. He said he's ready to go to Parliament. And after what he has said, that he's ready to go to Parliament, he then added that, let's see if the integrity or the credibility or reputation of Madam Abena upon Nkrumah and also Afenyo Markin's reputation will actually be intact. There's going to be a long week, but let's see how it goes, if indeed he will be invited to Parliament to clarify the air. Moving on to our next news item. Decades of poor mining regulation worsen Galamsey crisis. Gold Board CEO Sami Jenfi says Ghana's Galamsey crisis did not develop overnight. He argues that decades of weak regulation and inadequate support for small-scale miners helped create the problem we see today. According to him, Although Ghana moved to formalize artisanal and small-scale mining in 1989, successive governments did not do enough to provide miners with proper training, equipment, monitoring systems, and support for land reclamation. He also pointed to weaknesses in tracking mining equipment and monitoring where mining activities take place. In his view, without proper systems to register equipment, monitor mining sites, and trace the gold being produced, it has become difficult for the state to distinguish between legally produced gold and gold from illegal mining. Sami Jenfino also questioned previous governments' gold buying programs. He asked whether enough was done to establish the source of the gold being purchased, particularly under programs involving gold for oil, foreign exchange, and reserve accumulation. His argument is that the fight against galamsey cannot only focus on arresting illegal miners. There must also be stronger regulation, proper formalization of small-scale mining, traceability of gold, monitoring of equipment, and effective enforcement of environmental laws. This is also from Sami Jenfi. Miss Regina, what do you say?
Looking at the issue of illegal mining, I remember Sami Jenfi then times when he said he boldly said their governments can help stop illegal mining. Now, what is he telling us? During last week, with the second segment of the morning show, one NDC communicator said that when they were in opposition, the lens they were using to see galamsey was not the same lens when they came into power. They are seeing. God, see, obi teenager when onim said the if you don't go and sit there, you will never know what the person is experiencing. Akoya said it is the norm for people in opposition to criticize without experiencing what is really going on. We had so much, if we didn't even have trust in the NPP, we had so much trust in the NDC, because according to them, they can stop galamsey. So their main headline or the highlight of their manifesto was corruption and illegal mining. And illegal mining, we are not seeing anything. What we were experiencing under the past administration, we are now experiencing worse or worse. Let me put it that way.
So you think that the NDC hasn't improved
no,
the fight
improved.
against illegal mining?
Should I say they've added fuel to the fire?
But at least we've seen some.
At least what?
Some kingpins, some kingpins being taken, such as
Only Chairman to me.
And
only him.
They've also arrested some people as well.
Have you seen them? Have you seen them? It is only Chairman to me we've seen being arrested, gone to court, to and fro, and finally in the custody of Ghana prisons. Enumpo so that wa idenyamiase or that ho.
That I can't tell. I've not gone to visit him.
And then yen cholet uncle.
So that's his right.
No.
Yes.
Which right? we are journalists. We need to confirm if truly he's there. So as I'm saying, the NDC have, I will not say the NDC, but this current administration have not really put in any fight when it comes to illegal mining. I always say and will always say, with the past administration, they brought initiatives such as seizing excavators, arresting individuals, and stationing some of these law enforcers on that galamsey ground. When the NDC also came, what was the difference? The only difference was the Blue Water Initiative and the 9 months they created. That is the only difference. That is the only difference. On mobile and almost excavators nancy and omwejai. Instead of you to say because who feel say you can do it better, and this is not the time for anyone to put blame on any past administration. With what Sami Jenfi is doing, that is what as a son or person to a caution blame to the past government that they did not do enough. You two, you've come, do enough, and let's see. Do it so that we know that, oh, indeed, the NDC did it, the NPP did it. But no.
Ms. Regina says, you are saying that the previous administration didn't do enough. You have come, do enough, let's see. Ms. Debbie, what Sami Jemfi is saying is that Ghana has actually failed to regulate small scale mining and properly over the years, and that is why we are seeing what we are seeing today.
Ghana has failed.
Yeah, Ghana has failed to regulate small scale mining properly over the years. Small scale mining is actually legal mining.
Yeah.
And what he's saying is that we have failed to properly regulate it. That is why there's been an increase of galamsey. We are not able to reclaim the lands and then monitor seizing of equipment and even arresting people.
So let me use this English. I don't know whether it's correct, but he and who?
On your mind.
He and who that we failed. See, a government came in power. They started with galamsey. And then, we were all complaining that the measures that were being put in place was not proactive enough. And so we decided that, well, as concerned citizens, let's change our leaders and see whether there will be improvement. So we've changed our leaders. You are a leader. You are now like steering the affairs of the country. And then you take a closer look at the previous government, what they did. And then you are now in their shoes. You should do better. So if there wasn't a proper regulation in the fight of galamsey, and then your government is in power, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to ensure that narrative is not rewritten again. So if that narrative that you claimed previously that was bad, and so you made us believe that they are coming to change it, and all of a sudden it looks as if you are rewriting that narrative, then what message are you passing across, or what are you trying to tell us? It's two different things. If you say that we are failed, no, not me, I didn't fail, or sincerely speaking, I didn't fail. We gave you the nod because we felt like you can do it. So you are now in the chair. In fact, you are the chairperson. You are chairing it. So you should ensure that it is done. This was the same government that said they were going to bring a stop to galamsey in 120 days. 120 days. We've bypassed that 120 days, and we are still here. And it looks as if they themselves they've lost hope in the fight against galamsey, and it's bad. On 6th August, we celebrated the 8th gallant men, and it was sad because, for me, I felt like whilst we are celebrating them, we should be happy and be boasting that their death has brought a profitable reason. Yeah. But here we were celebrating them, but nothing to show. So it means that they died a useless death. And you're telling them it's an error. Nobody failed. That is what I want them to understand. They said they were going to reclaim degraded cocoa lands. How many degraded cocoa lands were they able to claim? They said they brought something for life. Tree something. Oh, they brought an initiative. Tree for life. They roll out tree for life. That is to plant more trees and then ensure that those trees that are being destroyed and all that, how far? That is a question we should be asking ourselves. How far? I think the best thing you should do, aside the fact that you failed when it comes to the fight against galamsey, and then what are we going to do next? This was the same government that said they were going to declare a state of emergency. Right. They didn't declare any state of emergency.
If I'm getting Sami Jemfi right, I think galamsey just didn't start. It started from somewhere, and where he mentioned that Ghana moved to formalize artisanal and small-scale mining in 1989, and successive government did not do enough to provide miners with proper training, equipment, monitoring systems, and support for land reclamation. So it actually started from somewhere. So assuming the successive government that he has mentioned actually did something to help these people, we wouldn't be where we are today, or it wouldn't have, gotten this far. I see you hammering.
It's like the submission again. She didn't understand. No, it didn't. That is why I said that the Galamsey, we all accept the fact that Galamsey started from somewhere. But so long as you have given us the assurance that you will do it, and you're now steering the affairs of bringing an end to Galamsey, you shouldn't come and be complaining of who started and who couldn't finish. So long as you are there is nothing like you giving an excuse. Do the work. You said you would do it. Galamsey was there when Kufuor was president. There was still Galamsey, but it wasn't even that. When Akufo-Addo came, it became Westeros. And then you said you are going to bring an end to it. We've given you the no to bring an end to Galamsey, and you are saying we. We who?
We is the government. We are all part of it, right? We is the government.
Who?
We are now part of it.
So it's not as if we don't understand that it started from. It started, but so long as you've given us that hope that you can do it, and the baton if you Akufo-Addo, and then we gave it to President Mahama. You are working with President Mahama, so the baton is equally in your hand. And the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, I don't even know what he's doing. And then he was crying. These are people that should be even reshuffled.
Well, on the issue of Galamsey, it's a lot. As Ms. Regina said, you said the successive government didn't do enough. Now that you're in power, do enough. Right, let's move on to our next news item. Forgive me if you are eating and you are listening to us. Only 59.3% of Ghanaian households have improved toilets. Local Government Ministry. The Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs says only 59.3% of households in Ghana have access to improved toilet facilities, highlighting the sanitation challenges facing many communities across the country. The figures show that while Ghana has made progress in access to drinking water, sanitation remains a major concern. About 87.7% of households have access to basic drinking water, but there is a clear gap between urban and rural communities. In urban areas, access to basic drinking water stands at 96.4% compared with 74.4% in rural areas. The ministry says more investment is needed in sanitation infrastructure, wastewater management, and proper solid waste disposal. It also believes metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies must be given the resources and capacity to respond to these challenges at the local level. The ministry made a statement as Ghana joins other African Union member states to mark the 2026 African Day for Decentralization and Local Development, under the theme focusing on empowering local governments to improve water and sanitation. The bigger concern is that having access to water does not necessarily mean households have access to proper sanitation. Poor toilet facilities and inadequate waste management can affect public health, the environment, and the quality of life in communities. So this is coming from the Local Government Ministry, and they're saying that only 59.3% of Ghanaian households have improved toilet facilities. Are the numbers tally, Ms. Gina? Have they?
59.
Yeah, looking at the figures and looking at what is actually on ground.
So it's only 59 point something percent have good
improved.
Yeah,
meaning that, excuse me to say, first if you use street to and now you've improved to water closet.
No. 50
awesome. So you think it's a good one?
It's not a good one.
It's not a good one.
Yes. We are in a modernized system, but one thing we need to take notice, most of the people having this pet latrine are still living in people's homes. It is not their homes.
Yeah.
So they can't just wake up and say me person use water closet, my dear. And looking at this improved water closet or more can semi. You know that most people, should I say, are not really comfortable with that.
They're not comfortable with using water closet. The improved one. So they want to go back to the old ways.
Latrina.
Then they should go back to the bush.
They are used to the pit latrina.
Yeah.
Shepet is the sheet or some
Rap and true.
No.
Police, I don't know. I'm not a suspect.
I say, oh, for BH or dogono. You see, or dogono the stretch. The last time a video popped up, Mammy Bio, oh, Fini, no kita. Say, yeah, not so, yeah.
What about the recent one that came to light during the
bus stop boys?
The bus stop boy for Tema Newtown, right
so
at the beach.
You see, most of them don't even want to sit comfortably in a nice environment and release themselves. See where this woman was squatting, and there was this video that popped up just now saying the alajo your friend is saying,
is it a gata?
The big gata, papa bia koto, and papa and na ni na mo fanche mi ni na sensen ho na o yitum. Oh, and name. It is funny, but it's very
but it's
sad.
Serious, yes.
Hey, and name. I don't know if they can do something about everyone making sure that they improve to the water closet. If probably they have to start from landlords, or if they have to start building houses to include all of these washrooms, if it is possible, or if your home is already one single room or something, they need to find a space inside that same room and
single room self-contained.
Yeah, single room self-contained. My dear, it is better. Comfortability. Me, there's no way I'll go and rent, and the washroom is shared by a lot of people. Me and me trim there cry me ya. Now what Baba Chama me say you it is your turn to scrub. I'll not scrub. So I think they need to find ways and means to make sure that everyone adapts to that system. See, if you have water closet in your house and you are sitting comfort, hey, I mean, I sometimes even forget to put them in the washroom.
Now you're holding your phone.
My dear.
Miss Debbie.
The fun.
Yeah, so this is bad, and it looks as if
the numbers are bad.
Yeah. If we still have people who do not have this, is it the KPI? Is it that they call the KPI or the old one?
The old one is
the KPI.
The KPI.
And then the modernized one, the KPI. I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's KPI something. So it's sad. So just as Regina said, we have people that even if they go to the washroom with the flushing toilet, because they are used to the one where you squat, they end up standing on the pods. Yes. And it's very, very risky. Very, very risky.
And most of them have got injured.
Yes. People stand on a flush instead of sitting, they are standing. And you've forgotten that your weight, maybe you are heavy, but you broom. And then you've killed yourself. It happened to someone before, so that's something we should take serious. I remember in 2016, the MPP bought initiative, and that is to build toilet facilities to bring an end to open defecation. I don't know how that ended. Now, this was first introduced by the NDC government in 2009 by the then former president, who is now late, Ivan Satamels. He brought this initiative because they want to bring a stop to open defecation. And when the MPP came, they rebranded it. But these two parties, it's like they didn't put massive energy into it. Yeah. Because if they did, we shouldn't be still talking about the same issue.
Yeah.
And I remember even then, during Atamel's time, we still have these public toilets were functioning.
Yeah.
If you go to a community where your tummy and there is nowhere, you can find a public toilet there. And then we have somebody who controls the person clean it, and so you pay. Yeah. You pay for, you're not paying to go in and release, but you're paying for the tea roll or the newspaper.
Yeah. And also they
water.
Yes. So they sell all these things, and so it makes it quiet and comfortable. But now all those toilets outworn or outdated. They are caked. And yet Jumebium, I say, and we don't even have any again. You find yourself in one place and then you're told you just have to go to somebody's house and beg the person and can I get a place to ease myself? So I think this is one major concern that they need to pay attention to. But we are kind of interested in bringing out the policies without investing into it and then making it materialize.
Exactly. And I think MMDC should actually put this on their head. This actually reminds me of a video I saw of someone building a toilet facility in the middle of an interchange at Pokwase. I was like, hey, in the middle of an interchange. It is oh, you're not carry back calls. Oh, Kokan is saying.
And who even gave that person
the permit to actually do that? We can actually do better as citizens of our country. We are all witches. Now and then, I will not lie. We are all witches. Let's do the right thing. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the News Review. Up next, we have Today in History with Miss Regina Bless.
Bringing you Today in History and some global observances, live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show. Today, Chad gaining independence. It gained full independence from France on this day 1960. The key milestones include French colonization in the 1890s, transition to an autonomous republic in 1958, and the leadership of Francois as the first president. Moving on, resignation of Liberian President Charles Taylor. Liberian President Charles Taylor resigned on this day 2003, handing power to Vice President Moses Blah and departing into exile in Nigeria to help end the devastating Second Liberian Civil War. To some few global observances, we have Annual Medical Checkup Day as a yearly reminder to schedule routine physical exams, check vital signs, and screen for hidden health conditions. So today is a day to go to the hospital for your annual medical checkup. Lastly, we have Presidential Joke Day. It is celebrated annually. It highlights the lighter side of politics, presidential wit, and humorous moments. So today is a day to observe presidential joke, and I bet you me, our president is very good at that. So go on TikTok, in any social media, and search for President John Dramani Mahama, and you would have the best day ever. And that's all for today on Today in History and some global observances, live on GhanaTalks Breakfast Show.
The president for jokes, John Dramani Mahama. Thank you so much, Miss Regina, for Today in History and some global observances of the day. Up next, we have Debbie's Grill.
Welcome to Debbie's Grill, where we talk about issues that matter to the state, void of politics, fear of favor. So, the National Democratic Congress has become the first political party in Ghana to deliver on every commitment made in its youth manifesto within 1 year of assuming office, Deputy NDC Communications Officer Malik Basintali revealed. Speaking at the NDC Western Regional Youth Conference held in Sadema on Saturday, Basintali said the achievements reflect the party's commitment to prioritizing young people in governance and policy. Now, the NDC's Youth Pledge document, launched ahead of the 2024 elections, contained 104 specific promises across 10 thematic areas, and that includes education, job creation, digitalization, health, and entrepreneurship. According to the Ghana Youth Manifesto Coalition's technical report released in November 2025, 9 of the 104 promises have been fully delivered, while 40 others are currently in progress. But Basintali, however, insisted that the party has gone beyond the numbers by ensuring that every single area captured in the manifesto has seen action within the first year. So key completed initiative he highlighted has to do with expansion of free senior high school to private schools and implementation of the no fee stress policy for first year university students, which they did. Allocation of 51.3 million seed fund for Women's Development Bank. The money has been disbursed, but the bank is nowhere to be found. 292.4 million for free sanitary product for girls in primary and secondary schools, and also the rollout of 24 economy policy, national apprenticeship program, a Jumaura program to tackle youth unemployment. Yet unemployment is still on the go right here in Ghana. So by sincerely urge NDC youth in the Western region to own the message and serve as ambassadors of the government record. So this is from Malik Basintali. He was in Sandema, and then he said the NDC government is the first government that has fulfilled whatever they've promised in their youth manifesto. And then we all realize that we know that they've promised a whole lot, from job creation to education to digitalization to business, a whole lot. And when we are taking all this out of 109, they fulfilled only 104. They fulfilled only 9. But Malik said they fulfilled all. Now the question is, if all these promises have been fulfilled, why do we still experience what you said you've worked on? So we have the unemployment issue. The NDC brought a Jumaura, they brought the apprenticeship program, where people, young Ghanaians who want to delve into entrepreneurship are being trained. And then they said they'll be given a seed fund to start. Now yesterday, the research I did, they are supposed to recruit about 10,000 people. And then after they've trained you, they will give you a capital to start. Out of this 10,000, it is only 3,200 and something that after the training they had the capital to start their business. The rest are still hanging about. We don't know when that money, will be given to them. Aside that, they also made promise that the rent control issue, where landlords take 6 months, they'll work on it, and they are going to do that in collaboration with the rent control department. But here we are, landlords are still taking more than 6 months. Recently, a friend wanted to rent, and then they are taking 600 in a month, and the person is taking 2 years in advance. They are not taking 6 months, they are not taking 1 year. It is 2 years. It's either you pay or you go. And you see, one thing about Accra is that this place is choked. No matter how expensive it is, you will still have people who come and rent. So you might say you don't want it. By the time you go and come, somebody has already taken it. But I can boldly tell you that this is really affecting the youth in this country. How much do you make a month? Now, as a Ghanaian, as a youth coming up, you need to save for the future. Whatever you make at the end of the month does not go straight into your tummy. You save. There is a percentage where you save. There is a percentage that goes into the rents and the utility bills and all stuff. So when it looks as if whatever you are saving at the end of the year or at the end of 2 years, you are taking everything to rent, then what are you doing to yourself? Are you living a life, or what? In fact, what life are you living? So the government said they are going to work on this. I don't know how far they've gone, but Malik is saying that they fulfilled it. But this is what is on ground, is what I'm telling you. The landlords are taking 2 years advance and not 6 months. Now they also said that they are going to improve the condition of service for NSS personnel. NSS personnel were taking 700. They said they are going to improve it. As it stands now, they are still taking what they are taking. And even with that, the money do not come as it's supposed to. There's NSS personnel that are devoting themselves to serve the country, to serve the government. At the end of the month, do not even get what they're supposed to get. And then it's a shame to see NSS personnel demonstrating, because whatever is due them is not being given to them on time. And on a normal sense, to think this properly, You cannot survive on 700, or you are renting like 4,000 plus, or maybe let me just put it 100 million plus. Some people are taking 1,000 cedis a month, and they are taking 2 years advance. So just calculate that 10 times 24, and then you know how much you are paying for 2 years. And most of this NSS personnel, wherever they are being posted to, there is nothing like accommodation. You need to fend for your own accommodation. You need to fend for your own transportation. And all this comes right from the pockets of the parents of this young NSS personnel that are trying to make something meaningful out of their life. And they don't get what is due them. Now, the NDC also said that with the issue of posting, they are not going to delay. Immediately you graduate from school, they will post you on time. As we speak, we have nurses that have graduated and they are still in the house. We have teachers that have graduated and they are still in the house. They've not been employed. It has been one excuse after the other. The Minister for Education said they wanted to employ a number of people. They brought out the number. At the end of it, they slashed it to somewhere like 700 to 7,000. And then they said the finance of the state is not solid enough to employ or recruit this graduate. And then we saw instances where there were Ghanaians who had interest to venture into the immigration service, into the police service, were given the go ahead. At the end of the day, they said 99% of them has HIV. And then we saw videos where people went to test. They wanted to be sure whether is it true that I have HIV. Yes, you know yourself better than anybody does. But the Minister of Interior said 99. It not only HIV. They said 99% of them are also drug addicts. And these people cannot be recruited. But we have thieves. We have thieves who are working there. Just recently, they caught a retired military officer who was illegally taking money from these people. There are instances where police officers were being sacked because, they engage in one or two activities that are against the rules of the immigration service or the police service or the fire service. How did they get there? Because I know with the security service to be recruited, intensive research must go on. And these are youth who are very eager. We saw the stampede issue last year. The number of youth who gathered because they want to be employed. You see, when you don't have an unemployed graduate in your house, you will not understand what I'm saying. It is painful to go to school for 4 years, for your parents to support you for 4 years, and they have it in mind that graduate, make something good out of whatever they've suffered for, and be a benefit to yourself, to the family, and to the society, so you don't become a liability. But the system has made us a liability in the sense that you graduate from school and then you are still in the house. You're not being employed, only for them to come and tell you that you have HIV/AIDS. They went for the testing, and most of them said that the result that came out was negative. So where did they get that report from? Aside that, they said they were going to bring an initiative where they will build something like clinics and bus stops and all that, where traders, passengers, commercial drivers, when you feel like you are having some sort of headache and all that, you don't have to rush to the hospital. There is a nearby or standby, something like a clinic where you can go. And also, they said they want to bring the 133, one job, 3 shifts, 3 people. Here we are. Even when you ask them, they're not even able to explain what they've stated in their own manifesto. But yet Malik was entirely telling you and I that they fulfilled all these promises. All the time they're bringing new policies on board. They claim they are recruiting people. But how come we still have people who are struggling? How come we still have nurses who are yet to be graduated? They said they were going to cancel the teachers' licensure exam. They are still writing it. So what shows that these promises have been fulfilled? I think one thing that the ordinary Ghanaian deserves to know is for you to be honest. It's for you to be honest. It's simple as that. Oh yeah, it is true, we failed, or maybe we are on the path of achieving that. I don't know where they are going to achieve that, because you have less than 1 year to live. So when or where that is going to happen, it's up to them. But I think one thing that an ordinary Ghanaian needs to know is for you to be honest. Don't tell us you fulfill it for political gain. Meanwhile, you fulfilled 9 out of 104 promises. Thank you for making time with me on the screen.
1 year, 8 months in office, and where are we? Where do you think we are? Send your thoughts and your opinions to us in the comment section. We are streaming live on Facebook at GhanaTalks Radio TV, on YouTube at GhanaTalks Radio, and also on X at GhanaTalks Radio. And that was Miss Debbie on the Debbie's Girls. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to join us on the second segment of the morning show. We'll be back right after the news.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with GhanaTalks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With GhanaTalks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. GhanaTalks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. GhanaTalks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news right here on GTR.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to the morning news update on GhanaTalks Radio. Coming up this morning, Ministry for Education calls for a halt on the pretense surrounding Metropolitan, Municipal and District Assemblies election and an increase of District Assembly Common Fund to 7.5%. Minister for Local Government urged stronger internal generated fund to support Metropolitan, Municipal and District Assembly government to uphold revocation of Adamo's resource mining lease. And also in the news, Ghana Immigration Service board member urges Ghanaians to prioritize peace over partisan interest. We've got full details on these stories and many others coming up shortly. The Minister for Education has called for an end to what he described as the pretense surrounding the election of Metropolitan Municipal District Chief Executives. Speaking of the need for honest reforms in the decentralization process, Honorable Haruna Idrisu urges Ghana to confront political realities of how MMDCs are selected in the country.
How do we reset democratic decentralization? As a country, the only thing we can do to elevate decentralization to a higher height is to make elections of the MMDCs elective and move away from the appointive principle into a competitive democratic elections open to the Ghanaian public to determine who their DC is. That is how we can add to deepening democratic decentralization, elective. The conflict has been, and I'll just take your time to share an experience with you and make a confession. The conflict will be, are they to run as individuals or they are to run on the ticket of political parties? That this meeting must seek answers to and resolve it. And I'm particularly happy that your minister is here. So I'll share this. When President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo sought to amend the constitution to make DCs elective. So those of you who want to have a good laugh this morning, I share this with you. I was a minority leader, a very responsible minority leader. So we chose to punish Nana Addo Dankwa on matter of principle of constitutional law and law. Your minister is here. Coincidentally, he was the one I used together with Muntaka. So if you recall, so I don't want a repeat of this under the NDC government. So Nana Addo Dankwa wrote to the Speaker of Parliament for amendment to the constitution, having gone through Council of State, for us to elect MMMDCs. In principle, we all agree that it should be elective. So those of you who have your constitution, go to Article 2413 or 2431. Article 2431, I'm sure. 2431. So Nana Addo Dankwa at the time as president then wrote to the Speaker of Parliament for us to amend Article 2431, which was to remove appointment of DCAs to make it elective. But you know Nana Addo Dankwa, brilliant constitutional lawyer. So in my culture, if you fall such a huge constitutional lawyer, you also become a hero. So I then told the minority that let's frustrate him constitutionally and legally. So you hear the story today. So I then told him and his whip that no NDC MP should comment on the constitutional amendment proposed by government for good reason. So they asked me why. So IMC, let me recognize you. You are doing so well. So take note. You don't drive our government on the same path when you are advising the Minister for Local Government. So if you read Article 2431, it then provided for the election of the DCA. So President Nana Addo rightfully and tactfully and legally said, remove appointment and make it elective. Then his advisors, including his Attorney General, went to sleep. They didn't advise him on Article 2433 and 248. So I then told the minority that, Shroom, when 90 days have passed and the president cannot go back to Council of State, then we remind him that he's in error. That's how we defeated it.
The Minister for Education also urged the government to fulfill its manifesto of increasing the District Assembly's Common Fund from 5 to 7.5% at the Second National Dialogue on Decentralization and Responsive Governance. The Minister of Education said a gradual approach will make the commitment fiscally realistic. According to him, a phase increase will allow the Ministry of Finance to properly plan while giving assemblies predictability in their budget.
Now, the elephant in the room, District Assembly Common Fund. And happily, Harry was on the manifesto committee with me. I wanted to say this while the vice president was there because she chaired some of the sessions. We had said that in the NDC manifesto, we will adjust the District Assembly Common Fund from 5 to 7.5%. So before I leave, I'll let them give you a video of the President John Dramani Mahama under this team. Then you appreciate government position on this matter. So as a government, we have said that increase the District Assembly Common Fund. So Chief Director, Minister of Finance, do that for them. The NDC and the mills, District Assembly Common Fund was 7.5%. We want to work gingerly and gradually towards saving. So in 2027, you can give 1%. 2028, add another 1%, and we would have honored the manifesto pledge of an adjustment of the District Assembly Common Fund to 7.5%. Now, President John Dramani Mahama said, so the president's thinking and vision on deepening democratic decentralization, including the election of MMDCs, is to dedicate that 1% increase to help decentralization and devolution, so that a metropolitan assembly can now recruit doctors and nurses on their own, just making use of that 1% allocation for health. Then the other 1% will go to education, devolution, democratic of education. So you have 5% plus 1 plus 1, 7%. This is the thinking of President Mahama. So before I leave, I'll play the President's audio on the same subject for you to be guided. And Esther Abuaji, I know I'm acknowledging you. You recall the meeting where you and the Vice President chaired. These were the principles we agreed to. So we cannot be walking back on policy principles that we all agreed to, that deepen democratic decentralization, make it competitive, elective, democratic, open it up so that citizens' accountability is deepened. But we cannot do it if the District Assembly Common Fund, maybe the minister cannot say it, I'll say it for him. He depends on the District Assembly Common Fund. If he's going to rely on releases from Ministry of Finance, the ministry won't function effectively and well. Just like me, I won't function well and effectively without get fund. So get it. This is
Adding his voice to the call, Minister for Local Government said the measures to improve internally generated funds will provide metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives a more reliable domestic revenue base to finance sanitation infrastructure. Speaking on the effort to deepen fiscal decentralization, Honorable Ibrahim Ejay said over-reliance on the district common fund has limited the productivity of the assembly. According to him, the ministry is working with metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives to digitize revenue collection.
We come to financing sanitation service delivery at the local level. To address the financing gap, the ministry has an issue. We have issued a fee fixing guidelines 2026 to 2030, which establish uniform transparent standard for MMDAs in certain fees, levies and charges. By strengthening the predictability and fairness of internally generated funds, these guidelines will give assemblies a more reliable domestic resource base from which to finance sanitation infrastructure without overburdening the communities where they live or they serve.
The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, has upheld the decision to revoke Adamu's Resources mining lease following a review of the company's appeal. This was announced during a working visit of the Minister to Adamu's mine at Salma in the Elembele district of the Western region. He stressed that a review committee is set to examine the company's appeal. However, details of the bridges are yet to be disclosed.
Following the report of the Minerals Commission to the Chief Inspector of Mines with recommendations of grave violations of the Mining Act and mining regulations, recommendation for revocation of some of the mining leases here, Salma, Kango, and others were recommended. The minister agreed with them. There was a petition and we formed a ministerial review committee to look at it. That work has come to an end. And I have concluded as a minister to uphold the revocation. What that means going forward is that the Minerals Commission should with immediate effect take administrative control of this mine. Work with you to ensure that workers are paid and work to make sure that the processing plant is up and running and all the safety issues addressed. Taking immediate measures to also ensure that we protect not only the sanctity of this mine, but jobs of employees, which is really the preoccupation of the president. But I think it's also very critical that my understanding is that there has not been, a lot of them have not only been paid, but have been made redundant. and that has to be addressed with immediate effect and make sure they come back to work. And then we can make sure that the next steps are taken. In the meantime, we, with the media here, will give you a very clear statement on the basis of why this is important. And everything that we've done is to be done in across to make sure that we've given the Adamus the right of hearing. And I think that we've gotten to this point where the priority is to make sure that the interest of the country, the mine, workers who work here, and the sanctity of this mine and the safety of it should be the top priority of government. And so that's why we're here, and we want to make sure that this mine is up and running. And so the Minerals Commission will be working with you to make sure that all these outstanding matters are addressed with immediate effect, and to assure the workers here that the intent is always to make sure we work with them to protect their jobs and to make this place a place where, quite frankly, they wake up every morning and feel happy to come to. This is what the plan is, and to work with them and to make sure that the necessary investment required to transform this mine is done. So we are very grateful for the cooperation. We're very saddened about the unfortunate accident. But I believe that this man has a future, it has a real potential, and working together will make sure that the story of this mine will be told in a very positive way going forward.
We come to financing sanitation service delivery at the local level.
And member of the Ghana Immigration Service Board, Reverend Father Kofi Efa, urges Ghanaians to prioritize peace over partisan interest. In a sensitization forum, Reverend Efa cautioned against the politicization of peace and security, which poses threat to democracy and development. He called on citizens and security personnel to uphold objectivity in the discharge of their duties.
Politicizing everything. You know, sometimes one issue arises and then we are dealing with it. Then it seems like if the person is from MPP, see, the whole of MPP are in support of him. If the person is from NDC, the whole of NDC is in support of him. But then we should rather consider what is at stake and deal with that issue. That is what I'm talking about. It brings about conflict, and that kind of disturb or even sabotage the peace that we are looking out for. And that is why I'm saying that when it comes to seeking for peace, ensuring that peace exists, we shouldn't politicize it. Speak the truth as to what it is, whether it's for MPP or NDC. Let us deal with the person as it is. So my advice is, you know the laws, you have been in school, so deal with what you're supposed to do. Obey command and deal with that. Then you'll be safe. But if you tend to look wayward, then you create problem for your own self. That is what we are trained to do, to obey what we are being ordered to do. And if you are doing that, you'll be safe and your work will be very diligent, because these things are enshrined by the country, men of high status who have the country development and peace at heart.
In business, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Gold Board, Sami Jemfi, says the institution generated 970 million in non-tax revenue for the state in 2025 through asset fees charged on gold transactions. According to him, the revenue was generated from fees paid for the assaying of gold, including transactions involving the Bank of Ghana and licensed gold buying companies. Mr. Jemfi said the figures demonstrate Gold Board's direct contribution to state revenue beyond its broader mandate of regulating and formalizing Ghana's gold trading sector. He explained that the revenue came from the asset fees, gold board charges, the Bank of Ghana, and other licensed gold buying companies. Mr. Jemfi said the fees are therefore part of gold board's operations and are paid by institutions and licensed operators that use its assaying services. It maintained that 970 million Ghana cedis generated in 2025 highlight the potential of Ghana's gold industry to provide the state with additional sources of revenue when activities within the sector are properly regulated and accounted for. Beyond the asset fees, Mr. Jemfi said gold board operations are aimed at formalizing the domestic gold trade, improving foreign exchange mobilization, and supporting accumulation of Ghana's gold reserves. He added that the institution's reforms are intended to ensure that Ghana retains a greater share of the value generated from its gold resources rather than significant economic benefit to accrue outside the country. To sports, Black Queens head coach Kim Lass has described Ghana's 2-1 defeat by Malawi at the 2026 Women African Cup of Nations as the worst feeling of his 20-year coaching career. Ghana surrendered an early lead to lose their quarter-final tie, ending their hopes of reaching the semi-finals and securing automatic qualification for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. Last said the defeat was painful because of what qualification for the World Cup would have meant to the team and the country. Ghana will have another chance to qualify when they face Cote d'Ivoire in the playoff in Casablanca on Thursday. The playoff gives last side a chance to recover from the disappointment and keep hopes alive of returning to the Women's World Cup for the first time since 2007. In showbiz, entertainment pundit Arnold Asamoah Bedu has weighed on the ongoing debate about preserving Ghanaian cultural icons. According to him, it is unrealistic for government to build museums for every legend. Speaking on the subject, Asamoah Bedu argued that while it is significant to honor and preserve the legacy of Ghanaians, pioneers in music, film, sports, and other fields, the state does not have the resources to erect a museum for each individual. He urged government to rather focus on creating centralized institutions and digital archives that can collectively celebrate multiple legends instead of single-person monuments that are costly to maintain. The comment comes amid renewed calls from fans and industry players for the state to do more in immortalizing late and living icons who have contributed to Ghana's cultural identity. On global update, authorities in Mali said soldiers killed dozens of militant Islamists as they repelled an attack on a military base on Sunday. The Jama Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin, a jihadist group affiliated to Al-Qaeda, said it was behind the assault where its fighters took control of the base in the town of San. The army, which also suffered casualties, disputed it had ceded control but said its soldiers had to retreat temporarily. It comes as Mali's security situation appears to be deteriorating more than a decade after jihadist insurgency began taking root in the north of the country. He urged residents to remain vigilant, insisting that its soldiers had not gone anywhere and the base remained under army control. The attack started around 5 o'clock local time and lasted for about 2 hours, according to witnesses quoted by the French broadcasters. The attackers came on motorcycles and on foot, some disguised in army uniforms, to infiltrate the base, and reported the witness as stated. One said the militant entered the camp and held it for a long time before leaving. At least 10 soldiers were killed in the fighting, and the assailants briefly took over the camp. The AFP news agency quoted security and local sources. The army told national broadcasters that the militant used drones, heavy machine guns, and armored vehicles to breach the site perimeter. Since 2012, Mali has been plagued by insurgencies, and large parts of the north and east of the country remain outside government control. April saw nationwide coordinated attacks by alliance of jihadists and separatist rebel in north, the Azawad Liberation Front, seeking to overthrow the military regime of Gen Assimi Goïta, who seized power in coup in 2020. During the attacks, Defense Minister Sadio Kamara was killed in an apparent suicide truck bombing on his residence near the capital Bamako. Janim has diversified its operations and began targeting not only northern Mali but also central and southern Mali, showing an ability to penetrate deeper into the territory despite numerous military operations. In the wake of the coup, which was in part carried out over the failure to ease security situation, Mali rejected French military help and instead turned to Russia. And that's it on the morning news update. Thank you so much for sticking tuned to your radio. Do also log on to all streaming platforms as well as logging onto our website at www.GhanaTalksRadio.com for more news stories.
Are you ready to amplify your business or brand's reach and make a meaningful impact in Ghana and beyond? Partner with Ghana Talks Radio today to connect with a diverse audience across Ghana and beyond. Elevate your brand through on-air promotions and social media. Boost your brand during prime time. With Ghana Talks Radio, you can extend your reach across digital platforms. Ghana Talks Radio is not just a station, it is a community hub where your brand becomes part of the conversation. Join us in fostering connections, celebrating culture, and making a lasting impression. For customized sponsorship packages and enquiries, email contact@GhanaTalksRadio.com or call +233 202 544614. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast, French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal. Join us on Ghana Talks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues.
Entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
With me, Pakwesi Omare,
Regina Bless,
Deborah Adoso,
and I am Esinal Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Your morning star, right? News, views, inspiration, and great conversations. From Accra to the world, we bring the fresh stories, fresh energy every morning, full of fire and glory. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Your daily dose, here we go. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Only on Ghana Talks Radio. Turn it up and stay tuned for the talk that moves you and keeps your heart in tune. From the traffic to the trends, we got something for your day. Every voice, every vision, lighting up the way.
This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
Come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align.
Begin your day with us right here on GhanaTalks Radio. This is still your morning companion. This is the GhanaTalks breakfast show right here on GhanaTalks Radio. This morning we are serving you breakfast. I don't know if you want it watery, if you want it solid, if you want to go with snacks, or you like to start with some tea. However you want it, we are here to serve it to you right here on the show. My name is still Ruth Esenam Fiekbedu, and I'm serving you breakfast with Miss Regina Bless and Miss Debbie Adoso. But before we delve into the second segment of the show, you know how we do it. We are going to be looking at some interesting headlines. What is trending? Let's look at what is trending in the world of business. What is there? In the world of politics, what is there? In entertainment, what is there? Social issues, what is actually there? This is why we are here this morning to feed you with it. Remember that you are streaming live on Facebook at GhanaTalks Radio TV, on YouTube at GhanaTalks Radio, and also on X at GhanaTalks Radio. Do what to send in your comments. We do what to read them back to you. Let's get interactive right here on the show. Make sure you engage with us this morning. Just do your best. I know you are sitting at home. You are sitting in your car, you are listening to me, you actually wish we said something, you want to add your voice, just drop it in the comment section. We'll read it. Ladies, welcome back. We are back. This morning, water or solid, Kenke, old, Tom Brown, which one? Miss Debbie, I see you wearing brown, so would you go for Tom Brown? You're not a lover of Tom Brown.
Oh yeah, I love Tom Brown.
You love Tom Brown?
Yeah, I do.
So this morning we serve them Tom Brown.
Me, I'm taking rice.
Miss Regina, I see you wearing white. Rice? Anything is fine. Yeah, you know how we do it this morning. Yeah, so I think we're going to pick it up from where Miss Debbie I think left us off at, which is 1 year and 8 months in office. Where are we? Miss Debbie, let me move to Miss Regina. Miss Regina, where are we? 1 year, 8 months. Where are we? This your idea of this current administration office.
Signature.
And this your idea actually tells us that
signature.
It is what it is. It's either they are doing well or they are not doing well. But you tell us, where are we?
So are you talking about their performance?
Yes, their performance so far. How has it been so far? Which of the areas do you think or wish they can actually do better? Are they setting their priorities right? Are they doing what they have to do? Or there's more room for improvement?
Okay. So looking at this 1 year, 8 months, I think there's still room for improvement and there's a lot to do. So looking at the aspect of the roads, I think when it comes to the roads, they are really doing a good job. I think yesterday Vice President Jainano Pokwajima went to see some of the projects that were displayed on a board, and I think they are really doing a good job. And the Minister for Roads, that is Mr. Agboja, is also doing a great and fantastic job. And moving to our education sector, I would also say our education sector also needs more improvements. It needs more enhancing. We need to come out from our old ways of doing things and move to the digital world. And also moving to the sector of our health. Our health is still in chaos. Our health is still in a lot of issues, and in fact, they have a huge room to improve on the health sector. The Minister for Health, that is Mr. Minta Akando, Akoyesen and saying, "Why are you quiet?" Sorry. Akoyesen and saying he's too quiet for my liking. The issue of no birth syndrome is still in existence. We've not forgotten about it. And I think just recently, either Kolebo or one of the big hospitals made complaint about the emergency cases moving forward, growing rampantly, but the emergency sector of the hospital is full.
Yeah.
And they need to do something about it. We don't have to come out, talk before these people do something. So the health sector particularly, they need to improvise it to the befitting standard of Ghanaians, where at the end of the day we go for this health services, we don't come back with a different illness. And what else? And also illegal mining, it is poor. We are already seeing it. It is very poor. Honestly, it is poor. Looking at the past administration, I didn't hear of a case where some of these illegal miners had the audacity to face off with some of this EPA personnel, law enforcers, that is the military, Ghana Police Service. But Akoya said this time around, these people have the audacity to do that. And also with the issue of corruption also, they are trying, but their best is not good enough. Yes. The oral cases, day in and day out, they come out, give us updates. And this date is set for this. I think 27th of this month, they are starting Kenufuriate's issue again. So let's see and hope how that goes. And what else? I think aside that they are doing good, but their good is not best enough.
It's not best enough. That means that there's more room for improvement. And I think with the issue of health, I've seen some churches coming on board to collaborate with the government to complete the agenda 111 hospitals. Yeah, so let's see how it goes in the coming month. Ms. Debbie, I see you doing you believe they can't complete it, and now the collaboration them so, and now it's just for the media.
I feel like they have limited time to accomplish all these promises they made to us. They are trying their possible best to convince us that they can do it in the coming year, but I don't see it as such, because we are in 2026, right? In 2027, from January, February, March, April, May, June, July, I guess from somewhere to July, it is from them, but from September, October, November, December to 2028, it's no longer for you. People start campaigning. When it happens like that, people are not waiting for you to come and do anything. They will now focus on what you did in 2025 and this year. That is what they're based on to vote for you in 2028, not what you will do in 2027. So you have limited time. For me, I don't see them accomplishing everything they promised us that they will do. Something like the Women Development Bank. Funds have been disbursed, but the bank is nowhere to be found. The 24-hour market they've started. My dad called me that they've demolished some school bio, 1960 school bio, and that is benefiting the community up to today. They've demolished the structures. They said they are building 24-hour market. So I asked my dad, we have market. The market is very big. Why not renovate it and maybe expand it? They said no. So they've demolished the school. They've laid the foundation.
I'm trying to get the notion behind why they have to demolish certain vital buildings just to build a 24-hour market. Is it that they want their name to be on this project?
Exactly. That is what they want to do, because if you go to every municipality and every community, the market they have was not established by the people within that community. It is either maybe a government came on board and they surveyed the whole community, and then they realized that no, this place will be good for the marketplace. So even this one, if I want to maybe go into details to do research on who brought the development of that market, I might end up knowing that maybe it was way back, maybe during Rawlings' time, or maybe during Kufuor time, or maybe during Kufuor-Addo's time, that market was developed. So nobody would like to come and expand it. When they expanded, it is being termed as a government completing something for you to come and starting something for you to come and complete. They don't really give you that credit. But when somebody starts and he completed, so let's take for example, when Mahama started the E-Block, it was solely in his name. So when you mention E-Block, they know that it's for Mahama. But when you mention what interchange did Akufo-Addo started and Mahama completed, is it the one in Kumasi?
No.
Or there was one interchange B. I think Akufo-Addo started and Mahama completed. Is it
recently or during Mahama?
Yes, during his first term.
I think that would be Kufuor, Anna. And Kufuor started it in Atta Mills. That was the N1 road. Kufuor
They
started
say
it.
fair pound. I think in Kumasi.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's very, very beautiful.
I think
Interchange.
Yes, and I'm
think I'm trying to get it where we saw the Ashanti regional minister sent the kids to go and draw.
Yes, I'm sure that place. Yes.
Yeah, I also know of the N1 which was started by
Kufuor. No, not that one.
Completed by Tamil. So
Yes.
they both
commissioned it.
Yes, this was just I think
this year.
Yeah, it was just this year where the minority were actually doing their thing that they it was just this year.
Like,
it was just this year. Sorry, don't worry.
Yes. So because like I can remember that Muhammad commissioned some maybe I don't or is it Cassidy? No, I'm not sure.
Miss Regina will look for that.
Yeah, please search it for me. He completed it. And then people were so when Muhammad before he came in for his second term, when they were, going through wars he did, they mentioned, they listed that. And people were like, you didn't start it, so why are you giving yourself the credit? And another party was like, but he completed it. So you see where the conflict comes in. And that is why any government that comes on board want to start something new. But the problem is they start it and they don't complete it. At least when you complete it, it is good. But this one, a whole school that have served, thousands of people, some of them have completed and they became a resource to their community. And now that school have been demolished because they want to build 24-hour market. Now the market is there. I don't even know when they will complete it. So this is it's a major headache. So with that, with the NDC, sincerely speaking, Ghanaians had hope in them, and with the way they spoke, we were thinking that in a pace of 1 year, at least 50% of what you said should be completed. But as it stands now, the only thing they were able to do was to scrub all those nuisance taxes that was being introduced by the previous administration. But like their own policies, fulfilling them has become a challenge. That 133 shift, how many companies are running the 133 shift? Today, you when the NDC communicator come, we ask him to explain. You see what they will tell you. They end up telling you things, like a whole lot of things to cover it up. But you and I know fully well that 133 shift is not working. It is only in pharmacy, and the pharmacy did that they were running shift.
They've been doing
it for long. They are not starting just now. It is something that has been in existence for long. We are talking about 24 hour. The bank should be running 24 hour. Market should be running. That is what you meant.
If the bank should be running 24 hours.
Security, and so you ensure that the security is very tight. That is what you should do. La Paz is already running 24 hours. La Paz didn't just start now. If you go there like 10, you see people,
you still
selling. The next morning. Yeah. So La Paz like this is already running 24 hours. Whatever you are supposed to do is to restructure the market system in La Paz.
Right. With the whole issue of 24-hour economy, do you think that the government is actually choosing the right institutions to be involved in the 24-hour economy, or which of the industries or institutions, it could be the sectors, ministries, or entities, which you think that the government should actually bring on board for the 24-hour economy? Because markets, if I go there at 12 a.m. at the market, what am I going to do there when I can actually? Yeah.
And some countries run 24 hours.
At that time, when your husband has now come back from work, you are now going to the market to buy foodstuffs.
Yes.
Red flag.
People like it's not common in Ghana because we know that maybe nature is that you work from morning to 12 midnight, you are asleep, you rest, and then you wake up the next morning and then you start afresh. So that is how nature has made it. But you want to now change how nature is, and that is like throughout. We have nurses who work throughout, from morning to evening to the next day. So people like that, what if he or she is working? Oh, I feel like eating something. It doesn't work like that because that is nature. But if you want to change it, it's not about you that you are changing it or you are changing it on paper. It's about you putting the right steps in the right direction. One, if I'm a trader and I sell food out there, you want me to come and see there at 12. That is the time that thieves operate. 12 a.m. Because they know 12 a.m. everybody is asleep. That is when they operate. So if you want me, a food vendor should be selling food at 12 a.m. when you don't even see human.
Anyways.
Humans walking.
Yeah.
Then there should be tight security.
Yeah, for the security there, it should be very tight. So when food vendors actually selling as at that time, we equally have people working as at that time. But how many people are actually going to patronize?
Yes, at that time. Yeah.
So I feel like there are certain sectors that shouldn't even go close to running 24-hour economy. If you ask me.
But do you know the 24-hour economy they are bringing on board with the 24-hour market? The idea is like superb. The 24-hour market includes everything. It includes a joint for the police, where when riot or something is going, the police can just come and tame that. It also includes a place for health practitioners, which means there will be a small place where health practitioners will be employed to work. In case of an emergency, you don't have to write the person all the way to Kolebu. You just write the person in there, and then there is a place where the person can be treated. So it, like, although it's a market, it is embedded with a lot of things. So for this for me, this is a good policy, but this is not something that can be completed in a space of 4 years. That is because it is not as if the notion you are bringing on board is supposed to be established right here in Accra. This is across all all municipalities. Every district is supposed to have a 24-hour market. If maybe you end up saying that, oh, maybe capital of every region should have the 24-hour market, or for now let's just choose Accra, or maybe some other two regions where we know that business is not that solid enough, then we'll establish a 24-hour market there. It's understandable. But this is a case where you are establishing it across all districts. For me, I don't think you can be able to complete it in a pace of, you have less than 1.5, not even 1.5, like 1 year to complete that.
Ms. Regina, one word for the government before we move.
The government. Okay, so the government is doing a great job, but they shouldn't let that get into their heads. They need to make sure that they satisfy the people, because that is their topmost priority. They shouldn't be there and be thinking about their tummy. They should think about the tummy of the ordinary Ghanaians. The ordinary Ghanaians who can't afford a 3 square meal a day. For them, they can even wake up one day and decide to travel out of the country to go and eat sushi. No one has a problem with them, but we don't have anywhere to go. We are stuck here. And they should also make sure that when it comes to the flagship programs they promised, the 24-hour economy, and also the Galam's fight against Galamsey, fight against corruption, and also when it has to do with our hospital beds, they also need to make sure that they fulfill all. Yes.
Right. Thank you so much, Ms. Regina. Ms. Debbie.
Yeah, so
She's giving her answers. They are going,
Let me hear from you.
The thing say me, one thing I'll ask this government to do is to be sincere with the ordinary Ghanaian. If you feel like things are not going bad, and that is because there are maybe financial issues, and that, be sincere to us, tell us. That is why you are a leader. A leader is not always supposed to get it right. There are instances where challenges will come, but be sincere to us. Don't lie to us and let us find out after you leave far. And no.
When it happens like that, it actually affects the next person also coming.
Representing that party.
Yeah, representing that party. So that is from Ms. Debbie. The government should be sincere with us. 1 year, 8 months in office of this current administration. And the question people keep asking is, where are we? And where are we going? Are things going to get better? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining me briefly on this. Up next, we have the second segment. Please stick and stay with us.
What do you want for breakfast? How do you want your breakfast?
English breakfast. French fries.
Koko Nikosi, alo komi kesheto.
Wache.
Well, Gobe is the real deal. Join us on GhanaTalks Radio. Let's serve you a buffet of breakfast.
From news headlines review, current affairs to social issues,
entertainment, sports, and all the trending stories live on our mobile app and across all socials from Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. AM.
With me, Pakwesi Omare.
Regina Bliss.
Deborah Adoso.
And I am Esina Fiagbedu. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. This is Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion.
News, views, inspiration, and great conversations. From Accra to the world, we bring the fresh stories, fresh energy every morning, full of fire and glory. Rise and shine, come join the line. Your day begins when the voices align. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Your daily dose, here we go. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show. Ghana Talks Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. This is still the Ghana Talks Breakfast Show, your morning companion. This is your favorite online radio station. You can carry along wherever you go. All you need to do is just download the app on Google Play Store or Apple Store at Ghana Talks Radio. And if you want to watch us, all you need to do is just log on to our social platforms. On Facebook, we are streaming live on Ghana Talks Radio at Ghana Talks Radio TV, on YouTube at Ghana Talks Radio, and also on X at Ghana Talks Radio. Do also join us this morning right here in the studios. Send in your comments. Let's get interactive. I know you have something in your throat. You have something in your chest you want to say. Just let it out. Send your comments in the comment section. We'll do what to read them back to you, and let's engage right here on the morning show. And this is the second segment of the show. And you know how we do it. We come along with knowledgeable guests who are going to be delving into the issues for discussion this morning. They are bringing on board their A game. They are going to be drawing more insights and delving deeper into the topics that we have slated to discuss this morning. And I must say that I'm elated and glad to have joining me right here in the studios from the camp of the NDC. Hey, Mr. Okan will lash me. From the camp of the NDC, Mr. Samuel Okan. He's the NDC Communications team member. Mr. Okan,
No.
I didn't finish, so forgive me.
Don't worry. It's okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you. It's been a while.
Yeah, very long.
You've been chasing the bag.
Yes.
Did you grab it?
Yes.
Where is my part?
I'll bring it to you.
I need Ghana Must Go. My own day, I need a Ghana Must Go. I don't want you to meet me at a filling station. Bring it here.
I'll bring it here.
You bring it here. Right, that is Mr. Okan. Mr. Okan, thank you so much for joining us right here on the show. And I know you can't wait to get into the issues. But before we do that, I think yesterday we saw from the office of the OSP that they are going to begin trial for Ken Foriata. Does that actually mean that he's going to be tried in absentia? Looking at
since he hasn't come.
Since he has not come.
The trial is going to start.
We are going to proceed with
this.
this.
He's going to be in absentia.
But are you positive that the man will be returning to the country to face the consequences of his action? Alleged
this
consequences.
This is purely international relations, something. You understand? It is between Ghana and the United States of America. And as you can see, he has already secured a permanent residence in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Which makes him one way or the other a citizen of the United States of America. So, as to whether he will come or not, it depends on the legal system in the United States of America and how the Ghana legal system handles the issue. But since the law has provided that we can try people in absentia, I think it can be done. That's exactly what happened to the woman, Sedina Tamango, who was tried in absentia and subsequently jailed for 10 years prison terms.
But looking at the tangent on which we are going as a country, looking at our security agencies, which is the OSP, the Attorney General, and the rest, looking at the tangents, do you think that is actually going to yield a positive result?
And why do you think it will not yield a positive result?
Yes. Looking at all the controversies.
Those institutions are there to check lawlessness and corruption.
Exactly.
What have you. So whoever they go after might have committed a crime or might have committed a petty offense in one way or the other. So I don't think they are just going around chasing innocent people just to have them behind bars and prosecute them and all that. Whoever they go after might have committed a crime in one way or the other. So whatever they are doing will definitely yield a positive results for nothing at all. There are some of the people are repaying the monies that they have taken from the Republic of Ghana. Others are being punished for hiding behind freedom of speech and causing lawlessness in the system. So at the end of the day, it will serve as deterrence to other people who wants to commit similar crimes. You see, Ghana, the political environment, we have entertained this kind of, I'll call it bad communication, or in the name of freedom of speech. But the laws, the 1992 Constitution of Ghana and the Criminal Offences Act gives a certain limitation to freedom of speech. So we cannot hide behind freedom of speech and be calling people's names, accusing people wrongly, and causing public threats and all that. When we do that, we are just encouraging public disorder. So I think whoever they go after is in the right direction.
Whoever they go after is in the right direction. That was Mr. Samuel Okine on the issue of the OSP, who is set to resume the trial or the case of Kenneth Oyata. What do you also think? Well, he has shared his thoughts that he believes that, who knows, looking at the tangents on which we are treading on as a country and also as security agencies, there's a probability that Kenneth Oyata will be brought back into the country to answer certain questions. But what do you also think? Is it going to be what it is, or Kenneth Oyata is going to come out voluntarily? Right. So this morning we'll be looking at the issue of Gold Board and the scrutiny, assessing its impact on Ghana's gold sector. And yesterday we heard from Sami Jemfi, and where he organized as an X-Space to draw in insight and also brought to light certain things that is actually happening in the sector. But before we delve into that, let's look at the core mandates of Gold Board, their roles and their responsibility, and what is expected of them as an industry, or let me say as a sector or as an institution. So Gold Board was actually established by the Ghana Gold Board Act 2025 at 1140, which was sentenced on April 2nd, 2025. And the core mandate of Gold Board is to oversee, regulate, and undertake the buying, selling, assaying, refining, and export of gold and other precious minerals, particularly bringing Ghana's small-scale gold trade under one regulated system. So in simple terms, what Gold Board seeks to do is to regulate Ghana's gold trade, reduce smuggling, improve value from gold, and also generate more foreign exchange for the country. And so yesterday we saw a whole lot of, issues that Sami Jemfi actually brought to light, and also the criticism from the opposition, especially from Afenyo Makin and also Kojo Opon Nkrumah. Mr. Okine.
Okay. Good morning to our viewers and listeners. I will extend my greetings to the whole of the country, but the best part of the greetings will go to my party people, NDC people. I also like to greet the leadership of the party in the Amasaman constituency, the MP, the MC, and then the internal constituency leadership, the secretary, the chairman, and what have you. We were lucky enough to have our chairman to be the MC, so he is performing two functions at the same time.
And who is that?
Desmoni Naisoa. He is the Amasama Municipal Chief Executive and then our constituency chairman at the same time. And I would like to extend my greetings to the last person in the branch and any other person who is working to ensure that President Mohammed's vision to reset Ghana materializes or see the light of the day. I will also use this opportunity to campaign for myself. I am contesting for the communications officer for my constituency, and I believe this time around the delegates have gotten another opportunity to select new leadership. And I'll say that we have a lot of experienced people in the current administration, but any experience that has not produced resource is valueless. So I will advise the delegates, those that they think have performed, they have the right to maintain them. Those that have maintained their position for so long with no results to show, they have to vote them out, because that is the only way out. Communication and politics today have become like twins. Political or electoral success is dependent highly on a good and effective communication. So if you don't have an effective communicator, if you don't have a good communication system, the possibility that you go into an election and lose is very, very high.
Right.
Because how to change the narrative is dependent on the communication system you are having.
Right.
So I'll say that the Amasaman people, they should have the courage and believe in me that when I assume the office, I will ensure that the communication we have in Amasama NDC will be transformed and it will produce a positive result.
Right. Congratulations to you, Mr. O'Kind, and we are wishing you all the best.
Well, before I will proceed, just like you read, the Gold Board establishment is one of the initiatives of the NDC administration that is giving the MPP sleepless nights. They have never loved the idea. They have never loved the establishment of the Gold Board, but I can say on authority that the Gold Board has come to stay. And just like you read from your document, it has been established by an act of parliament, which makes it a state entity, or which makes it a state-owned enterprise. Gold Board is an institution that goes into buying and selling of gold. And their core mandate is to take absolute control of our gold trading in Ghana. Now, Gold Board is an institution that is also helping to reduce the galamsey menace. Why? Because Gold Board doesn't buy from galamseys. Gold Board only buys from legal licensed miners, licensed buyers, and then aggregators. These are the people Gold Board does business with.
So the rumors are not true.
So the rumors that Gold Board is buying from galamseyers or illegal miners, unless you can prove.
Right.
You see, when you make a claim, it will only be beautiful, or it will only be logical that you'll be able to provide evidence to back the claims that you are making. When you make a noise that Gold Board is buying from galamseyers without adducing evidence, clearly you are engaging in propaganda. And serious people will not take you serious unless you be able to prove that Gold Board is buying from galamseyers. Gold Board is an institution that has been established to replace the former PMMC. Before the coming of Gold Board, the PMMC was there. So if today the claim is that Gold Board is buying from galamseyers, then before then, where was the PMMC buying from? Because the MPP was in power for 8 solid years, and the PMMC was doing the same business that Gold Board is doing. But the difference is that Gold Board has expanded the scale. So if today the claim is that Gold Board is buying from galamseyers, then unless they come to tell us that these are the galamseyers we've arrested selling gold to the Gold Board, then we will be able to accept that indeed Gold Board is buying from galamseyers. But anything apart from that, it is neither here nor there.
Right. You mentioned that Gold Board has expanded on what PMMC is actually doing, or on what have they expanded on?
One, if you even check gold purchase from small scale miners, from 2024 it was PMMC, 2025 it is Gold Board. If you check 2024, the PMMC was able to purchase about 63 tons of gold from small scale miners. Gold Board has been able to purchase about 103 tons of gold from small scale miners.
And how were they able to achieve all of this?
They were able to achieve it, like I said, they buy the gold from small scale miners. They buy the gold from licensed buyers, and they buy the gold from aggregators. This is where Gold Board buys the gold. As I said, unless somebody can subject me to proof or produce evidence that Gold Board is buying from galamseyers. So Gold Board is a legal entity that deals with only legal entities or licensed operators. Gold Board doesn't deal with galamseyers. So this is where they buy from. Before the coming or before the establishment of Gold Board, the buying and selling of gold was not centralized. That is why the core mandate of the Gold Board is to take absolute control of the gold trade. So that thing enabled smuggling. people buy the gold and then they have a way of smuggling it outside the country to go and sell and make money. And there were illegal entities who were also engaged in such a business, Akunta mining and so on. They were there and they will mine the gold. They will find a way of going to sell the gold. But today, as we are speaking, when the mine company was given to engineers and planners, their first proceed, where did they take it to? They took it to the gold board. So these are the areas gold board is buying from. So any person who say that gold board is buying from illegal miners is neither here nor there. And one of the claims they are making is that gold board is running at a loss. But when you sit back and you analyze the issue very well, it is either those who are making the claims are just trying to make claims to be seen in the political space, or they want to be relevant in the political space. Because what is the essence of politics if we don't have anything to criticize? Mm-hmm. What is the essence of politics if we don't have a loophole to even talk about? I am not saying that gold board, the establishment of gold board, has come to solve all our gold problems, but I can tell you that it has come to minimize the problems we were facing as far as mining gold in Ghana is concerned. Before we say that gold board is making losses, we cannot substantiate that claim until we begin to discuss revenue and cost. If we cannot state on record, this is the amount gold board invested into buying gold, and this is the amount gold board has been able to generate, then why do we talk about profit and loss? Unless we will be able to state that gold board invested this amount of money into buying gold, and then after buying the gold and selling, this is the amount of money gold board is making. Then we will say that gold board is either making profit or gold board is making losses. If we cannot talk about those things, then we cannot say that gold board is making profit and loss. Because one, if you look at the activities of the PMMC, the operations, by the end of 2024, PMMC was able to make a total revenue of 4.61 billion. By the end of 2025, gold board is able to make a total revenue of 10.8 billion. So if you say gold board is making losses, how will you substantiate that claim?
Right. Before you continue, let's get into the IMF reports briefly. So IMF report reveals 1.7 billion US dollars Bank of Ghana gold purchase losses, which they say is 8 times higher than the previously reported 214 million US dollars. So it has emerged that losses from the Bank of Ghana's domestic gold purchase program implemented through Gold Board were far greater than initially disclosed. And according to IMF, country report number 26213 on Ghana, prepared as background documentation for the 2026 article consultation, the widely reported 214 million US dollars loss in 2025 represented only a small fraction of the total loss of the central bank. The report states that the significant scaling up of domestic gold purchase program operations in 2025 led to staggering losses of over 1.7 billion US dollars, equivalent to 1.5% of GDP. So the IMF said the losses accrued from combination of factors including service and assay fees paid to Gold Board and discounts on gold sold to off-takers or exporters, exchange rates losses from the spread between the Forex Bureau rate paid to purchase gold and the CD reference rate used for the Bank of Ghana accounting. So all these reports, the reports actually goes on and on and on and on. And looking at what IMF actually reported on, does that mean that it's not factual?
You see, as an institution, Gold Board as an institution, or Gold Board like any other institution, to declare profit or loss is dependent on the institution itself, and not an institution somewhere that is basing on projections to make a claim that Gold Board is making losses. IMF they have a way of making their projections to arrive at a conclusion, but that does not paint the exact picture of the institution internally.
So is it an assumption?
That is what we need to understand. IMF does not have the power to declare that Gold Board has made losses or Gold Board is making profit, because whatever they come out with is based on projections, is based on documents they received from maybe Bank of Ghana or elsewhere. So whatever IMF is reporting is projection, and we cannot base on that to say that Gold Board is making losses. That is why I said before we can say that Gold Board is making losses, we should be able to state the amount of money Gold Board has invested and the amount Gold Board has what generated. Because when you take your cost from your revenue, that is where you'll be able to establish that indeed we are making supernormal profit or abnormal profit. And based on the instances I've given you, if you compare the Gold Board activities to that of the PMMC in 2024, if the total revenue of PMMC in 2024 was 4.61 billion, and Gold Board in 2025 is making a revenue of 10.8 billion, how then do you substantiate the claim that Gold Board is making losses? If we want to depend on the IMF report to say that Gold Board is making losses, in fact, we will not be fair to the system, and economically it violates the economic principles, because there is no company in Ghana here that has a foreign supervisor somewhere that will declare their profit or loss for them. It is dependent on the institution itself. So if the Gold Board itself comes out to say that this is our total revenue, this is our total expenditure, or this is our total cost, and at the end of the day we can conclude that we are making losses, then it is factual. But if we want to base on what the IMF is saying to say that indeed Gold Board is running at a loss, then economically we are not being fair to Gold Board. Always we should look at the figures coming out from Gold Board. If you look at the PMMC, even their employment capacity and their expenditure alone shows that Gold Board is doing better as compared to the PMMC. Before the establishment of Gold Board, PMMC was employing about only 120 workers. Today, Gold Board is employing about 400 and over workers.
Oh, really?
And the total expenditure, if you compare, you can see that PMMC with 120 workers spent more than Gold Board is spending today.
With the 400
with
workers.
the 400 workers. So when you say Gold Board is making losses, you need to substantiate the losses by telling us that this is the amount Gold Board has invested into the gold trading, and this is the amount Gold Board has generated, and we can conclude that Gold Board is making supernormal profit or abnormal profit, or Gold Board is breaking even. Anything apart from that, any claim that somebody will make, if you want to depend on IMF report to say that Gold Board is making losses, then I'll tell you that that is false. I'll tell you that that is false. IMF is a separate institution, it's an institution, international institution on its own, and because of the business they do with countries, they take interest in such important institutions. So whatever they bring out, whatever they see, is based on available document presented to them either by the Bank of Ghana or projections. So if you want to base on the projection of the IMF to say that Gold Board is running at a loss, it is neither here nor there. Just like I have stated, before you come out to say that Gold Board is running at a loss, then you should be able to talk about revenue, expenditure, and cost. Then we can establish that indeed Gold Board is making losses or Gold Board is making profit. But from all projections, everything indicates that Gold Board is making profit.
So last year, 2025, they made a profit of 5.5 billion Ghana cedis. And for this year, it hasn't been projected yet. So in your submission, if I'm getting you right, we should be looking at the total revenue they actually making before we can ascertain if they are indeed making a loss.
If you want to even compare their total revenue, last year, their total revenue, Gold Board, PMMC, their total revenue in 2024 was 4.61 billion, like I said, US dollars.
Yeah.
And at the end of 2025, total revenue is not the same as profit. Total revenue is the amount of money you get after doing the business, the amount of money, the total money you generate from doing the business. And the total revenue of Gold Board in 2025 is 10.8 billion. So if you even want to compare the total revenue of the PMMC and then Gold Board today, how do you substantiate the claim that Gold Board is running at a loss? That is where I want you to understand that we can only talk about loss, we can only talk about profit when we are able to compare our revenue to our cost. Because like I told you, in 2024, when PMMC was having only 120 workers, their total expenditure was around 129 million. And today that Gold Board is employing about 400 workers. Their total expenditure is around 1.5.
So do you see that as a mismanagement? Is that what you're insinuating?
That is a prudent management. That means Gold Board is hiring a lot of people but cutting costs at the same time.
But previously, which is PMMC, had 140 workers, and you said that they are even spending more than what Gold Board is spending now with 400 workers. So are you insinuating there's a mismanagement?
I am not insinuating. I am stating that it was as a result of mismanagement. Because what accumulates expenditure? The workers you are having, overhead cost and other forms of cost put together, and that becomes your total expenditure. So if you have, let's say, 120 workers in the previous administration, and your total expenditure was around 129 million, and somebody is having 450 workers, and the total expenditure is around 105 million, how can you tell me that there is no issue of mismanagement here? There was a clear issue of mismanagement. Unless maybe they will be able to explain why 120 workers, they were able to spend more than 400 workers. But if not, then it is a clear mismanagement. If not for mismanagement, how will a company with a few small employment capacity spend more than a company with a huge employment capacity? And in the previous administration, the PMMC supervised gold sales from galamseyers, because a company like Akunta Mining, in 2022, when the issue came out that Akunta Mining was engaged in illegal mining, the president has to come out to say that Akunta Mining is not engaged in any form of illegal mining, which means companies were allowed to mine illegally under the protection of governmental powers. Today, as we are speaking, I want some MPP people to come out and tell us that this is Akunta Mining's physical location. This is Akunta Mining's their office. This is their employment capacity. What corporate social responsibility has Akunta Mining engaged in before? And all these things were happening under the previous administration. So what shows that the PMMC didn't engage in any form of mismanagement? So it was a clear mismanagement something. And that is why they were spending more than.
So you think that the PMMC was equally buying gold from illegal miners?
They were also buying. Because what you see, what is the evidence that shows that Gold Board is buying from illegal miners? Unless the previous administration under the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, PMMC was also buying from illegal mining, then they'll be able to say that Gold Board is also buying from Gold Board is also buying from illegal miners. But if not, how do you substantiate? How do you defend that PMMC was not also buying from illegal miners?
Right. Let's get into this. So he explains. Sami Gyamfi actually explains Gold Board's funding and financing structure, and he explained how Gold Board finances its gold purchases and why it is gradually moving away from relying on the Bank of Ghana as an intermediary. So according to him, there's a difference between funding Gold Board's operations and financing the actual purchase of gold. He explained that under the previous domestic gold purchase program, which is the PMMC, the Bank of Ghana provided money to them, which is PMMC, to buy gold on its behalf. That arrangement actually ended when Gold Board took over the gold trade in February 2026. And under the new system, Gold Board works with commercial banks and businesses that need foreign exchange. Initially, the Bank of Ghana helped convert CD funds from these institutions into dollars for Gold Board. Sami Gyamfi stressed that this was intermediation, not the Bank of Ghana using reserves to finance Gold Board. He said Gold Board ended the Bank of Ghana's intermediary role in July and is now exploring alternative ways to raise the dollars needed to purchase gold. And these includes receiving advanced dollar payments from international gold buyers and using forward foreign exchange arrangements with commercial banks. And where he cited an example and disclosed that on August 3rd, Gold Board raised $75 million through this new arrangement and converted the CD equivalent into dollars within 48 hours without using the Bank of Ghana as an intermediary. The CEO says the ultimate goal is for Gold Board to become financially independent and operate without depending on the central bank to raise funds. He also explained that Gold Board's operational expenses are expected to be covered through its trading activities. So he has explained how Gold Board is actually being financed, where they've cut off Bank of Ghana as an intermediary. Do you think it's a right decision and it's going to be sustainable?
Oh yes, it is going to be sustainable.
Term.
Why is it not going to be sustainable?
Right.
Because every institution that is engaged in buying and selling, it should be financially independent. That's a similar issue with Cocoa Board. You understand? Because of the lack of financial independence for Cocoa Board will always have to rely on monies from other institutions to buy the cocoa. So whenever those institutions regulate their prices, then it will affect the price of cocoa, and then people will assume that it is as a result of incompetence of President Mohammed's administration. That is why the price of cocoa has come down. So it will only be prudent that going forward, Gold Board will be financially independent and take certain financial responsibilities as an institution before we will be able to say that Gold Board is now an autonomous body, or Gold Board is now making profit, or Gold Board is making what? Losses. There is the need that these intermediaries are removed before we will get the holistic outcome of Gold Board, before we can ascertain that indeed Gold Board is making profit or loss. These intermediaries are supposed to be what? Removed. Because as an institution, when you depend on another company for financial assistance, before you can go and buy gold, you take money from somewhere, you go and buy the gold, then you give the gold to the person, you will not be able to take certain decisions as a company. You will not be able to take certain decisions as a company. And if you look at the brain behind the establishment of Gold Board, it is to take absolute control of our gold trading. So there is the need that it becomes financially independent, so that we cut all the intermediaries out. Gold Board goes to buy the gold, sell the gold, then we will be able to see that Gold Board is making what? Profit. Gold Board is making supernormal profit or abnormal profit. So I think it is a prudent decision. It is a nice decision that the Gold Board will be financially independent, so that they will take certain financial responsibilities themselves. And it is sustainable. Why is it not sustainable? A company that has been able to generate about 10.8 billion US dollars within a space of 12 months. What shows that when they take the intermediaries out and they want to finance their activities themselves, it is not sustainable. It is sustainable.
Now to the controversies from Afenyomakin and also upon Nkrumah. Do you think that is coming from a genuine place, or is they are just doing?
That's why I said
what they are good at.
What will be the essence of politics if we don't have an opposition party that is always looking forward to criticize a ruling government? That is the essence of politics. But the claims they are making, they need to compare their claims to the previous administration, or whatever claim they make. They need to adduce evidence for the ordinary Ghanaian who is listening to them to understand that indeed the minority group in parliament are working for the people of what? Of Ghana. Because in the previous administration under the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government, what was the activities of the PMMC? How was gold gathered? What was the gold business like? How was it like? What was the activities of galamseyers? We had a government that will come out, mount a podium to defend companies that are engaged in illegal mining. And that is what they supervised. And they saw no problems with it. But today that we have a state-owned institution that deals with only licensed miners, and they will come out to criticize that Gold Board is buying from illegal miners, Gold Board is making losses. Like I said, how do you substantiate that claim? Unless you be able to prove that indeed Gold Board is buying from Akunta Mining, because it is only Akunta Mining that I know to be on record to be an illegal entity. And after the conviction of Chairman Untimi, it is no more in operation. The records are there. Till today, have you ever heard the Akunta Mining operating again? It was a company that was existing in people's mind. They go to the side, mine the gold, they smuggle and go their way. And Afenyomakin and the other person you mentioned, they saw nothing wrong with this situation. So I don't know why they have a problem with the operations of Gold Board. But I think yesterday I listened to Sami Jemfi and he said something that Afenyomakin only needs his attention. And I think that is what, yes, at the end of the day, you have to get something to say to remain relevant in the political space. So that is why they are making such claims. But to say that Gold Board is engaged in illegal activities, or Gold Board is buying from illegal miners, or Gold Board is making losses. Until you compare cost and revenue, and now you compare cost and revenue, or you'll be able to point that Gold Board is buying from these illegal entities, then their claims or their criticisms is neither here nor there.
No there. Now that we see that we've heard from Sami Jemfi explaining to us how Gold Board is actually being financed, and now we know that they are trying to be independent without relying on Bank of Ghana as an intermediary. What then does Bank of Ghana actually seeks to benefit from this if they are no longer going to be an intermediary, but now they are going to be depending on international banks and businesses for the sake of the dollar?
You see, Gold Board is a state-owned enterprise, and it is for Ghana. And whatever work they do is in the interest of the Republic of Ghana. I don't think taking Bank of Ghana out will be a problem, because at the end of the day, the Gold Board as an establishment is there to take absolute control over our gold trade and to ensure that we have gold reserves. So even though the Bank of Ghana will not come in as an intermediary, but there is no way Gold Board will operate without involving Bank of Ghana in their activities. That will never work. Whatever they are going to get, whatever gold they are going to generate from the system, definitely part will be given to Bank of Ghana to back our currency, because you know what Bank of Ghana uses our money for. So I think the money aspect, where they have to go to Bank of Ghana, take money to go and buy the gold, that is where they are they are taking out. Gold Board becomes an independent institution, buys the gold, and they give it to Bank of Ghana to back our currency.
Now, I have this question here. Does this new arrangement actually reduce the risk of putting pressure on Ghana's foreign exchange reserves? Do you see it as going to be a pressure?
I see no pressure on Ghana's reserves. I don't think it is going to put pressure on Ghana's reserve. How and then in what sense will it put pressure on Ghana's reserves? It will not. It is just the same business we are doing, but just that we are taking an intermediary out, so that Gold Board becomes an autonomous body. They take financial decisions for themselves, and it is not going to put any pressure on our international reserves. How? How is it going to do that? It will not.
Well, yesterday during his interview, he also mentioned that credit should be given to Dr. Baumia for the domestic gold purchase. Before this administration, or let me say at the beginning of your tenure, the NPP was saying that credit should be given to Dr. Baumia, but some communicators of the NDC were saying that why should credits be given to Dr. Baumia? But yesterday, seeing Sami Jemfi actually admitting it has actually clarified the air that indeed Dr. Baumia actually played a role in all of this.
You see, the reason why I agree with what Sami Jemfi said, because at the end of the day, the domestic whatever was introduced by Dr.
Gold purchase,
by the idea or the claim that the gains Gold Board is making
today,
all the credit should be given to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. They are taking ownership that Dr. Mahmoud Baumia is the brain behind the achievements Gold Board is making. That is what some of us we spoke against. Because if you introduced it, what was the profit Ghana getting from it? To bring out an idea or to put forward an idea does not necessarily mean you should be giving credit, even when the idea is causing problems to the Republic of Ghana. Prudent management, that is what requires credit. Prudent decision making, that is what requires credit. If you brought it, if you introduce it, were you making profit or you were making losses? And like I told you, within 2024 alone, through that idea, they were able to buy 63 tons of gold. And Gold Board in 2025 is able to buy 103 tons of gold. So before you give credit, you should be able to tell the profit the idea is what is bringing. So I agree with Sami Jemfi saying that Dr. Mahmoud Baumia should be given credit. But for somebody to say that all the credit be given to Dr. Mahmoud Baumia for introducing that idea is wrong. That is what I disagree. It is good that he introduced the idea, but the implementation of the idea became a problem, which is what we criticized, which is what we have defended the Gold Board always about. That even though the idea was introduced by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, but the implementation was a problem. Because at the end of the day, the idea was not generating the profit, or the idea was not generating the results for which it was implemented. So you could see that the idea, it is just like free SHS. The idea is fine, but the problems coming from the free SHS was more than the idea itself. So if Sami Jefi says that we should give credit to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia for introducing that idea, that is fine. But the implementation was a problematic, and that is what we criticized.
That was Mr. Samuel Okine, the NDC.
I look like an MPP.
No, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. Maybe the NPP actually want to adopt you to be their communicator, because you are so brilliant when it comes to your submission. So that was Mr. Samuel Okine, the NDC communications team member, and we are discussing a very important topic on the issue of Gold Board. Right. We've seen that Gold Board has been able to raise $75 million US without the Bank of Ghana. Do you think that is enough? Is it enough progress? Are we getting somewhere?
You see, before we talk about whether it is enough or it is not enough, we should also think about when the Gold Board itself was established.
So you think, looking at the duration at
yes,
which
I
it
think
was,
we are making a headway.
Yeah, and they said they made Bank of Ghana as an out of the equation somewhere in July 2026, and looking at the money they've been able to generate so far.
That is why I said that taking out Bank of Ghana as an intermediary will not affect the operations of Gold Board anyway, anyhow. Because if without Bank of Ghana they've been able to generate that amount of money you are talking about, then it means going forward without Bank of Ghana they will be able to what? Generate more. Looking at the time of its establishment from 2025, and within a space of 1 year and some months, they've been able to come out with, and even the profit you are mentioning is for 2025. So if you look at what they are doing without the Bank of Ghana as an intermediary, Gold Board will be a sustained institution, and I don't think it is going to have effect on its activities, or it will not be able to achieve the purpose for which it was established.
Well, during his submission yesterday, he mentioned that decades of poor mining regulation has actually worsened Galamsey crisis, where he says that successive government did not do enough to make sure that they provide miners with proper training equipment, monitoring systems, and also support for land reclamation, where he also pointed to weaknesses in tracking mining equipment and monitoring where mining activities actually take place. When you were in opposition whilst doing your campaign, you mentioned that when you come, you're going to make sure that you fight illegal mining boot for boot. Now hearing from Sami Jefi, what does that actually mean? What does that actually tell us?
You see, any person or any Ghanaian, you see, every Ghanaian has the right to complain about issues. Every Ghanaian, you deserve that right. That when things are not going well, you talk about it. But if you look at the Galamsey menace in the previous administration and compare it to what we are seeing today, you cannot tell me that the current administration, with the introduction of Gold Board, is not doing well as far as the Galamsey fight is concerned. Look at the turbidity of water bodies. Look at the reclamation of forest. Look at how huge equipment are being tracked. All these things are heading towards we curbing the Galamsey menace, which we didn't see in the previous administration. And like I said, the previous administration was actually protecting Galamseyers. At a point in time, the president has to come out to say that a mining company that his own minister has come out to declare that mining company is engaged in illegal mining. Then the following year, the president comes out, mounts a podium, and say that the company is not engaged in any form of illegal activity. But every mining company, just like you have said, should have a trained engineers every mining company should have tracked equipment so that their activities will be what? Will be put under check. But we had a company which didn't even have a vision statement and a mission statement, and that is Akunta Mining. And these are the companies that were being protected by the governmental powers. We have a company that we never know their employment capacity. If you want to compare Akunta Mining to engineers and planners today, engineers and planners can boast of about 4,000 workers. What is the working capacity of Akunta Mining? What was their vision statement? What was their mission statement? Have they even engaged in any form of corporate social responsibility before? The only legacy we can remember Akunta Mining for is the Samurai Boy community that they have destroyed. And that is what Akunta Mining is known for. So if you look at all these practical examples, you don't need anybody to tell you that the current administration is tackling the Galamsey head on. You don't need anybody to tell you that we are being able to control or to bring the Galamsey activities under control. Since NDC came to power, how many licensed companies have we revoked their license? About 278. I don't know if you still remember that that in the previous year we were able to revoke certain mining licenses. Upon revoking all these licenses, Gold Board is able to purchase this quantity of gold from legal miners. So like I said, Gold Board does not deal with illegal miners, and that is a way of fighting illegal mining. But every day I've been saying that the legal miners, the action of the Gold Board towards the legal miners is also one of the ways we can help to bring the Galamsey issue under control. Why? Because in the previous administration, staffs were not trained, even though they were having the licenses to operate. But at the end of the day, what were they doing? And I keep saying that, you see this thing that we are talking about, this Galamsey illegal mining, we see the whole thing to be illegal mining. We see the whole thing to be the implications of Galamsey. But what about the companies that are having licenses to operate, but they are not mining appropriately?
Yeah.
Their end implication can also cause damage to the environment, and that is what we are seeing today. So with the introduction of the Gold Board controlling the small scale miners, controlling the activities of small scale miners, giving their staff training and all that, will also help the mining companies to engage in appropriate mining practices. So I think with the coming of the Gold Board, just like you have said, it will help to curb the illegal mining menace.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it will.
Okay. You mentioned that the government is actually fighting head on to fight Galamsey. What progress has the government been able to
when was the last time you checked
so
the
far?
stability of water bodies? How many forests have been claimed? Before you say the government is not doing anything about it, you should be able to come out with the figures. You should be able to tell us that the government has not been able to reclaim any forest so far. You should be able to tell us that the stability of water bodies as we came to meet it in 2024 or early 2025 is still the same. But today, as we are speaking, we have seen significant improvement. So what shows that the current administration is not doing anything about Galamsey? If we had a system that about 200 or 300 and something people were engaged, they were having licenses, but their licenses were problematic, yet they were being supervised to mine. And today, we have an administration that has been able to revoke all these licenses from the system. What shows that the government is not doing anything about illegal mining? So clearly the government is doing something about illegal mining. But like I told you, what will be the essence of politics if we don't have people to come and criticize, or if we don't have people to create loopholes and talk about them? And that is exactly what the NPP is doing. They just want to create the impression in people's mind that the current administration is doing nothing as far as the fight against Galamsey is concerned. Just like they supervised the activities when they were in power. But today, as we are speaking, I can tell you that the story is not the same. Unless you can prove to me, or you can subject to prove that what you came to meet River Pra at a certain level of turbidity, and today it is still the same. You came to meet this water body with this level of turbidity, and today it is still the same. You came to meet this forest where people were mining there, and today they are still mining there. Then we can say that the government of the day is not doing anything about that. But until you are able to provide those things, then we cannot say that the current administration is not doing anything about illegal mining. And that is why I said the step taken by the Gold Board by giving training to small-scale miners staffs is the best, because the destruction of the environment is not caused by only illegal miners, and that thing we have to have it in mind.
Yeah, the small-scale miners.
And one of the ways we can get it done appropriately is to give them training how to mine appropriately on their environment. And that's exactly what the Gold Board is doing. So clearly, the current administration is fighting illegal mining. But we shouldn't expect that within a short period of time, we can just get rid of all the implications of illegal mining. Because the implications we are seeing are not coming, clearly everybody can attest to it, that the implications are not coming from the activities of illegal miners alone, but the small scale miners are also contributing towards the destruction of the environment. So the Gold Board's intervention by giving the miners training, giving their staff training, and making sure that they have engineers on site working to protect the environment is one of the ways of curbing the illegal mining situation.
Right. So Gold Board also mentioned about traceability, and also that they are not buying gold from illegal miners, but they are purchasing these gold from small-scale miners. With the issue of traceability, so if Gold Board is able to trace the gold and find out that it's actually coming from an illegal miner, of which I'm wondering how that is actually going to work. Does that mean that they are going to reject that gold?
You see,
or caution or actions to be taken against that person that brought in the gold from an illegal miner?
Before my submission, I mentioned 3 areas that the Gold Board buys from.
Yes.
1, licensed miners. 2, licensed buyers. And then 3, aggregators. Now, if I am Gold Board and you are a licensed miner and I come to buy from you, I know that because you are a licensed miner, you are not an illegal entity. So that becomes the source of the gold. Unless you, the licensed miner, you are buying from the illegal miners, then that one is also a different thing for us to talk about. Or maybe the licensed buyers are also buying from the illegal miners. That is also another thing we can talk about. Or the aggregators are also buying from illegal miners. Then it is an issue we can also discuss. But if you look at the categories of people, if you look at the categories of entities that the Gold Board deals with, clearly the source of the gold can be what? Can be traced.
Can be traced.
Because at the end of the day, we have about 20 large-scale mining companies in Ghana and a lot of small-scale mining entities with the license to what? To mine. So if you are a mining company and I come to buy gold from you, then clearly I know the source of the gold. And that is the traceability we are talking about. So what government needs to do is to ensure that these licensed miners, licensed buyers, aggregators are also not buying from illegal miners. But for Gold Board to buy from illegal miners, it is neither here nor there.
Right.
Maybe the licensed buyers may buy from the illegal miners, and that is what the government is also ensuring, that there will be that kind of traceability scheme, so that even the gold that you are bringing, we will be able to trace the source you get your gold from. Mind you, Gold Board was established just 2025, and these are the achievements they've made so far. So I believe that going forward, they will be able to make more achievement, and we will be able to have this Galamsey issue solved.
Are there any sanctions for if they actually find out that the gold is not coming from the right source?
There are sanctions for Galamseyers.
Have we even seen it being enforced?
Why is it that when people are arrested, then we keep complaining? If we are not enforcing, why has Chairman Huntimi been convicted? There are a lot of illegal miners that have been arrested since we came to power. Even under Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo that we claim he was, I say he was protecting the Galamseyers. Galamseyers were arrested under
and
his
are these
regime.
People actually being convicted or facing judgment?
They are facing
Are they in
trial.
court? Because we are not seeing anything. me for instance, I'm not seeing anything.
You see,
we get to hear that, oh, these people have been arrested, and then it ends there.
You see, sometimes some of the people who are arrested actually work for companies. Do you get my point? Some of the people who are being arrested actually work for companies, and yet they are not the people themselves. Do you get it? So you cannot arrest a worker for working for a company, take the person to court and convict the person. It is the company that will face the trial and be convicted, and that is what we have seen in the Akunta mining issue. Do you get my point? So a lot of people can be arrested, investigation will be conducted, but at the end of the day, if it happens that they are working for somebody, how do you take such a person to court for working for somebody? No. So it is.
But
the
they are
entity.
involved in the act. Are they not said to be accomplices?
Let us assume you work here.
Yes, I work
and
here.
it happens that your this company is an illegal entity and you are arrested, you the worker, how do you expect that you'll be taken to the court for something that the company should have done and they didn't do?
When I know that what they are doing is actually wrong.
How did you know?
Don't you get it
last time?
So are you saying that all those people that are working for people illegally, they don't know that what they are doing is causing harm?
I was there. Somebody sent me a message on TikTok that a mining company is recruiting people. I should pick a form. But he even wanted to scam me. So assuming I am an ignorant person, I will pay. If it is true, I will begin to work, thinking that I am working with a legal entity. And at the end of the day, it will happen that that entity is not a legal entity. How will I be able to know as to whether this company is a registered company or not? So that's what I'm saying. Any person who has been arrested in the name of illegal mining, or any person who has been arrested because of galamsey, will be tried. And if possible, the person will be convicted. And that's example, that's what we have seen. People are being convicted, people are being arrested. So rest assured, fingers crossed, I believe that the President Mahama administration is fighting the illegal mining menace.
Let's see them being convicted. Let's see them being prosecuted. That is all what we are asking for. And that is from Mr. Samuel Okan, the NDC communications team member, on the issue of good board traceability, funding and financing, and also the controversy surrounding good board. And joining us right there in the studios, we have Mr. Enoch Fojoake. I think he's come to close us on the issue of good board. Then we proceed to the next topic for discussion. Mr. Ake.
Good morning.
I don't know if I should respond or I should not respond.
Respond for me, please.
I should respond for you.
Respond for me.
Morning. How are you?
I'm good.
Finally, you are
but
here.
I am stressed.
You are stressed. Yes.
Not easy.
Yesterday, I was listening to you on one of our sister stations on the issue of democracy and attack.
Serious attack. It is serious.
Anyway, today we are here for good board, so let's get into it. Our time is fast spent.
Good board.
Yeah.
That's some. Okay. Thank you all, those listening to us and watching us from afar and near. I think that I entered when my brother was making 9 submissions. In fact, he has to defend. It is important. But you see, the issue of gold board, I have been sitting and wondering and wanting to understand.
But were you able to join the space yesterday?
No.
But you listened to
I
this?
passed by and I just left.
Oh, okay.
I have seen some except of what happened, that we've not made any laws and all that.
Yeah.
You see, sometimes I find it amazing when I want to understand the CEO and his people over there. Is it that they take us for, sorry to say, a fool? Or because we are all students, we've gone through the education cycle and we can read. So are you telling me that an IMF published report is false? If IMF is telling us that Gold Board has made some losses, and then the CEO comes to defend that he has not made any losses, who are we to believe? You see, so sometimes I find it amazing. I find it difficult. Sometimes I want to understand and believe the CEO and the NDC people. But again, IMF is not just anybody. An International Monetary Fund, a big institution that comes in to cushion a government when they are entering into crisis. So is the CEO and his people trying to tell us that whatever IMF is telling us we should ignore and then focus? Then I want to understand, why is it that they are finding it difficult for him to appear before Parliament if truly he believes he has not made any loss?
Well, in his interview yesterday, he said he was ready to be.
So what happened? His majority side blocked the probe. They blocked it. You see, so if I'm a lame person sitting here, then I want to side with what IMF is saying, because you run to the media space to go and then defend yourself over there. But you see, we do not defend ourselves in the media space. We want you in Parliament so that those who have questions to ask you, those who have gone through this financial and economic thing, who have opened what IMF is saying, then we give it to you a mano. Then we can answer, so that we can make our deductions from that. But on another angle, you are telling us you are ready, but your own people at Parliament are the same people blocking the probe from you to come to Parliament for questions. Then he makes some notion that Afenyomakin is better and MPP people are better because he secured victory for the NDC. My good friend, he's not even my friend. I don't know him. I should not even use my good friend. Mr. Sami Jemfi, nobody in the MPP has taken your matter on their head to be carrying around. Never should you sit in your comfort at Gold Board thinking that whatever MPP is doing is because they want to revenge or they have some bitterness in their heart about you. I do not think the honorable minority leader has even sat to even think about. The whole problem is IMF as an international monetary fund comes to Ghana, support and cushions us when our economy was almost in a junk. Now we've been able to recover little by little. Then IMF publishes a report telling us that in their findings and in whatever they've done, they've seen a Gold Board.
How did they find all of that? Did they consult Gold Board for all
that is my point. You cannot tell me that they never consulted Gold, because the finance minister himself is there. The governor of Bank of Ghana is there. They've all signed the document.
But don't you think it would be right to hear from Sami Jemfi himself?
So what? He should come to Parliament. That alone will make some of us maybe sit here and then agree. But for now, Watongo Daboka. That is the information on ground.
How then do you find out that he has made a loss when we don't actually know the total revenue they actually made?
So, personally, I have not sat to read the full IMF document because my constitutional law but then people have done that. We listen to documentaries.
But have you found that for yourself?
Oh, the document. I think I had it on my phone. When you remember when Wapon Kroma came and then he opened it, he read that part for us, stated there. And what amazes me, there is a signature of the finance minister and the Bank of Ghana governor
on the report.
Yes,
IMF.
Yes, unless my brother wants to do diabolic this morning. There's a signature. And my sister, you cannot tell me that you sign a document you've not read. You see, that is where the problem is coming from. So if tomorrow you go to sit on your sister station and then you justify telling us that you've not made any losses, then I find it a little bit amazing. But again, we cannot conclude. But for me, what I've heard from my side of Parliament, the minority side, from Honorable Oponko, Honorable Osaya Sari, the minority leader themselves, especially for Opongo and Abna, they are finance people. You cannot tell me they don't know their stuff, or they will just want to just come and pour sand into the eyes of the Ghanaian people.
So does that mean that Sami Jemfi also doesn't know his stuff? If you are saying
that is what I'm saying. I find it still amazing why he can still have that courage. Is it that they gave wrong document to IMF or what happened? But for now, what IMF have told us is that Mr. Sami Jemfi had made some losses at Gold Board. And is it amazing or is it shocking? Because even the Bank of Ghana themselves make losses.
It's banned for every business to make.
So why are you trying to justify or run away from that? You can come out if you've made losses and then promise better chances in the near future, or what you are doing to curb that losses you made in the past years.
Right, so
but trying to sit to justify. Again, I have a problem with the Gold Board institution itself.
What is the problem?
You, Mr. Sami Jemfi, came. You had a building. Gold Board, you know, it's a new institution. So they're in the old Bank of Ghana building. Or, yes, old finance. Is it Bank of Ghana or the finance ministry? Bank of Ghana building. Now, you decide to make renovations and all that.
Enoch, you said this countless times.
Then you go to give it to the deputy chief of staff. If I am a lame person sitting here this morning, then I want to agree with what IMF is saying, because you yourself, you know procurement rules, how we run it, conflict of interest. Then the deputy chief of staff comes out clearly, without any shame, comes to tell us that why. So as he has become a deputy chief of staff, he should not eat. His company, he should collapse it, and that is his response to us. So there are a lot of things that has happened at Gold Board. Looking at the cost in the renovation, your chair, table, board, TV board, unless they are telling us that those documents are fake. I want to sit here to side with what the minority side is saying. But again, if we do not sit, if Mr. Sami Jemfi fails to appear before Parliament as his majority side is blocking, then in the near future MPP government, you will have a lot of questions to answer. For that I promise.
Right. So all what the minority is asking for is transparency.
Come for and sit before us, just like you and I, Manu. We ask you in the IMF document, you do this and this. We learned that you are doing sourcing here. We learned that the gold buying, you've given that contract to just one human being, the whole Ghana, who you claim has that capacity to buy the gold and come and sell it to you. How true is it? That is what the minority side wants to ascertain. That is all. So why, if Mr. Samiji, if you believe that they have not made any losses, he can put pressure on the majority side that no, they should allow. So he comes.
So he clarifies there.
Yes, it is as simple as that.
Right. So that is Mr. Enoch Ake from the NPP on his take on the issue of good board. Our time is fast spent, so we'll be looking at the second topic for discussion briefly before we call it a wrap. So yesterday there was a protest at the forecourt of the headquarters of the NPP, and some people or protesters were actually blocked from submitting their petition for over the constituency album. Okay, this is your house matter. What is happening? What is going on?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I think we'll have to say kudos to the steering committee and then everybody involved in this election. In fact, I always say to handle elections, even just small maybe department election or TESCON election on campus. I have been easy for 2 times for TESCON. Compiling album keke. It is not a small job, and the pressure that comes on you. So if we've been able to see about 98% election conducted, then I will sit here and say kudos to the steering committee, to the region, national and constituency. Again, whatever that happened yesterday, I'm here to ascertain and get the fact. I do not know them. And you see, no.
They are not members of NPP.
They can be, but I don't know them.
So why were they prevented from entering the building?
You see, a building that is the party's headquarters, it is an administration office. It is not just any office. And you just cannot bargain and do whatever you want there. It is just like your studio here. If people feel aggrieved, they cannot just bargain and then just break door and enter. There are protocols you have to follow. Who are you? First question. Who sent you? What do you have in your hands? Are you the right person to channel? Do you just channel petition from constituency straight to national? No, it doesn't happen that way. It goes through a process. So whatever be the case, if you are aggrieved, if you have any petition, you are from constituency, you cannot jump straight to national headquarters. You have to pass through the process. We have regional committee looking at the election. Have you gone through that process? What is their take? What have they said about it? You cannot just jump and enter the national office and then just do whatever you want. But again, as I've said, some of these things are bound to happen. But for us not to have seen a lot of them, and then currently we've been able to hold, I think we just have a few constituencies to run. But to be able to run over 270 constituency election, my sister, it is not easy. And I'll say kudos. And so I saw comment from some of the NDC people saying, hey, you people even in opposition, you are fighting and all that. Yes, so got to say, oh, young kwabo, you say share.
Our pension.
Sansusi with the Wunya nye o constituency. Come over branch. Move branch. Move branch. I'm going. Electoral area now.
Constituency in October.
Constituency not to Wunya nye o the intimate to Mirikakra. Some of these things are bound, especially when you are even in government. Quite there time before you even come to your flag bearership election. So whatever that happened yesterday, I think it is important that we let the public know that you cannot just decide to do anything on your own. This is a national office. This is the party's headquarters, the heartbeat of the party.
You should allow them listen to their plea. But they were.
You cannot come with violence.
The video was not.
You cannot come with violence. You see. And I'm not sure they've even exhausted all the internal channel before coming to the headquarters. Who are you coming to meet at the headquarters? General Secretary, Oko Campaign, organizer, Oko Campaign, youth organizer, Oko. There is nobody. It is only director of administration and all that. And probably you're protecting a life. Who knows what? And you know when tempers are high, you decide to do whatever you want on your own. So we'll plead with them. that let's go through the channels. If you feel that region is not helping you, you cannot party headquarters. You can just delegate just a few people with your petition that they will come to see. We've had album issues where say MP hijacking, PC hijacking, constituency chairman hijacking. It happens, but all that that will plead that let's tempest calm down, because at the end, all those going there to protest, those blocking, at the end of the day, they want to see MPP back to power. I'm not sure they went there because of anything. They want to be constituency executives.
The people that protested.
Oh, I'm coming. Those who went there, they want to vote for people to be constituency executives. Say album wasem. Album ne dey na home. Nipa din a yede omokoto aba na home. So it is not because they just want to do anything, but it is because of more of a Pama party. No?
There's been rumors that this whole album, everything, they are trying to hijack it and prevent some people from not voting.
That is why I'm saying that at the end of the day, what happens? Those who are going to petition about the album, it is because they want to vote, right? A party abanom better. So it is the party's interest that they want to protect. Those hijacking it and also preventing people and want to bring other people, it is because they also want to bring their own people inside to come and vote. So at the end of the day, it is MPP. So what I'm saying is that let's not be in a quick to sometimes come out to wash our dirty linens outside, because at the end of the day, it is the party's interest we are all protected. Those hijacking, those who want to come in, because of me MPP, for they feel that they should be there. So I'll plead that once everything is about MPP, the other party, let's let tempest come down and then let's get things done. And then our goal should be on the NDC. Omuye to trust them. As I'm speaking to you, we have 2 of our ex-influencers who are still in there from about 1 or 2 weeks in here. Why? Because they posted a video of President Dramani Mahama and the National Security Coordinator where we had 150 million or something, allegedly. They are still in there. We have to come together to speak about it. General Buhari and my own good friend Damwad, both of them are my good friends. They are still in there. Why? Because a party has decided to come to power to hijack our democracy. The arrest they've done alone is more than the number of people they've been able to employ under this government. It is very sad, of which I'm not sure my brother here should even open his mouth to defend this thing, because we should all come together and tell your government that whatever they are doing, it is bad. That is why me call demonstration though. This is my first time I went on demonstration.
Why?
And you saw my video because trending.
Upon all the demonstration.
And I had thousands of myself who also came there. I saw some of my friends. Hey, what about demonstration? Yes, what about it? Why? Because they feel that, what is the problem? People speak, then you arrest them. Somebody says he has slaughtered 32 cows for a party. You leave him. Somebody comes to re-echo the same thing. You jail her 1 year. You sometimes want to sit to understand. Well, you and I know that insult, it is not criminal. It is not a crime, unless they want to still prove to me that insult is a crime.
Thank you.
Then you continue arresting people. It is sad. President Dramani Mahama, I want to plead with you. For me, aside everything, you are somebody I respect, somebody I hold in high esteem. Please, this is destroying your image, because last 2 weeks you were in the Assemblies of God Church preaching to us nicely. Please ensure that these young guys are released. General Buhari and Damwa, we beg you, release them, whatever they did. And up to now, you've not been able to tell us that video they posted is doctored, because Felix Ofosu-Kwati came confirming that the video is true, but whatever we are purporting outside is not true. He was only telling the National Security Coordinator to release 150 million for flood. It means that the video the young guys posted is true.
All right.
Please.
Thank you so much.
KB, what? And yeah, atiche no dosun. Just so kasakra na usro life. Who no number krana yem chise the police na efra.
Just say the right thing.
Who is not saying the right thing?
And make sure that you be able to prove it.
Who is not saying the right thing?
Right.
You have Kelvin Taylor outside who came to tell us that whatever he's doing for your party, and then it is President Dramani Mahama who has given him that. But
he's a member of your party.
He's a member of whose party?
I want it.
Obe Council say NDC. He made NDC win election. Want it. You have Kelvin Taylor in your cupboard. Then you continue to arrest people. It is sad. Mr. Okai, tell your party people to stop that. It is bad. You are a youth like myself. And yet, Afghanistan, South Korea, so North Korea. Aden yet mean kan yasem. Obeka kasa boase yem. Yeni na ye Ghana for munya sa den yan kan take for do wo ka che ne so wo yare o den ofosu kwa ti be boy yare be 10 man sa me je fidi ohro no obi ka che ne so ofu plane no onwu who arrested that person. Why are we doing this to ourselves?
It's okay. Please conclude. So
you will not defend this. I am praying.
The constant arrest of people violating the laws of the Republic of Ghana, I have no issue with it, and I thank God that my brother is trying to become a lawyer in the future, and he is in the best position to even educate us on some of these things.
Yeah.
In as much as we are practicing democracy, it does not necessarily give us the opportunity to say things that we think are comfortable with us, because some of the things you say may be defaming somebody. Some of the things you say may be in the form of threat. Some of the things you say may be in the form of false accusation, which all these things, I'll say that in law, they are illegal. My brother can say that to insult somebody is not a crime, but false accusation is a crime. When you defame somebody, it is a crime. All these things are what? Are crime.
When you defame somebody, it's civil action, it's not criminal.
So before,
if I defame you, go to court and send me, I'll come and answer. It is not police who arrest me when I defame you. When I tell you that your head is big, when I tell you that your head is big and you feel I have defamed you, you cannot use police to come and arrest me. It's a civil action you take against me. Court will invite me to come and answer. It is a civil action. So if President Jordan Mama feels that somebody has defamed him or the first lady, they should try in court so that the person comes. But you don't send police to go and arrest the person.
Right, but you know the president cannot sue. Neither can you sue the president.
Oh please, what are you telling me?
Right, Mr. Okai.
You understand? People hide behind freedom of speech and say things that they think they are comfortable
Kelvin Taylor, number one.
His microphone is off, don't worry.
You see, if you think Kelvin Taylor has also engaged in such an act, you have every opportunity to take him to court. You have every opportunity to initiate his arrest. You have every opportunity.
We sent him to court. He had a number of cases.
Oh, okay. Okay, you came late and you don't want to comport yourself. You know,
to court.
Nobody can hear you.
Released all charges against him. You took it off. Sadly, somebody like Kelvin Taylor, under national security protection, straight to court, and then the court took off all charges against him. We should go to court again. We won't go.
You see, it is only the court. It is only the court that will be able to determine as to whether someone has committed a crime or not a normal person like me. Before we begin to defend people who are being arrested, before we begin to defend people who are being convicted, we should first of all ask ourselves, then anipa no okaye. The anipa ne kaye no, is it in conformity with the laws of the Republic of Ghana? If yes, then we have every reason to go on demonstration. We have every reason to defend the person. We have every reason to even criticize the government for attacking our democracy. But all the people that have been arrested, it is either they have committed huge financial crimes or they are hiding behind freedom of speech to cause public disorder. And they are the people who are being arrested. In as much as we are practicing democracy, it does not give us the authority to post things about people that they are untrue. And sometimes MPP wants to use that opportunity to promote treatment of equal measure. Oh, nanado krade na ya nkanche no. Oh, ba umya krade na ya nkanche no. Say ye kan ya. Na enye mi na sese me chichire sa nkrofo no. Se obi di president nanado danko Akufo-Addo atema. Na enye se edu nkete ya na na se so chichire sa nkrofo no. Na enye mi Samuel Oka na ese me chichire sa nkrofo no. You were in power and you supervised the people insulting the president. You condone it. You accepted it. You allow the system to work. But what work are you talking about? You supervise people insulting the president, and you decided to leave it because you feel they are enjoying their freedom of speech. So Listen, democracy does not mean that you should violate the laws of Ghana. It is that same democracy that has placed limitations on our freedom of speech. And you are a lawyer, you know, if you check the Criminal Offences Act,
29 and 10.
yes, 29 and 10, it is there. Section 207, 208, it is there. It places a lot of limitations on freedom of speech.
Exactly.
So if somebody engages in such an act and it violates the laws of the Republic of Ghana and the person is arrested, you don't turn around to come and criticize the government of the day, that the government is attacking democracy because they are arresting people who are committing crimes, because they are arresting people who are engaging in corruptible activities. We don't do that. When you do that and you say our democracy is under attack, and for that matter, you organize a demonstration, and then under the demonstration, you see people fighting under the demonstration and others dancing. It shows that the NPP leadership as a party, they are confused. It shows that they are confused because I watched the demonstration. When do people go on demonstration? After you have used all the legal means to request for something from government and you are not getting any response, then you go on demonstration to show that indeed we're near break. But with this demonstration, I saw people dancing. So I was like, now democracy now you say you're under attack, you know. So clearly people were happy and they just wanted to embark on a health war.
Nobody
under the guise of
police khaki. Nobody blocked 37 road from preventing people from attending health care. It was sensible people that went out to demonstrate. That is why you saw a peaceful demonstration. Thank you. Continue.
You see, I have a video on my phone and you see people fighting under that same demonstration.
Mr. Ake, please, I beg you.
Let me show you.
Mr. Ake, I beg you. Try not to interject him. Our time is already up, so we can.
So the point I'm trying to make is that yes, indeed, we are enjoying freedom of speech, but the freedom of speech has gotten a certain limitations, which at all times, whenever we want to make an utterance, whenever we want to say something, we should remember that you have the right to speak, but not to a certain extent, not to the extent of defaming somebody, not to the extent of threatening the public, not to the extent of causing public fear and panic. When you do that, it is against the laws of the Republic of Ghana. So if somebody commits such an offense and the person is arrested, the person is convicted, then we turn around, organize a demonstration, trying to create the impression that the government of the day is arresting people, the government of the day is convicting people for saying things that they think is convenient to them. I think we are not being fair to the system. At all times, we should promote and hold our constitution in high esteem. What does the constitution say about freedom of speech? Does the constitution allow us to insult people? Does the constitution allow us to call people names? Does the constitution allow us to defame people? Does the constitution allow us to cause public fear and panic? If yes, then we can say whatever we want. But if the constitution does not allow it and you do it, then know that you could be held responsible for that action. So if somebody has engaged in such an act and the person has been arrested, the person has been convicted, let us not organize confused people in one basket, go on demonstration, they'll go and dance and fight, and when they come, they'll come and tell us that our democracy is under attack. Right. I see the MPP leadership is rather under attack and not our democracy, because anybody who has been arrested and convicted under this current John Mohammed's administration might have committed a crime in one way or the other.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okine, who is the NDC communications team member, and also we have Mr. Enoch Fojo Ake. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the show. We had such an incredible time right here in the studios. Hope you also enjoyed yourself. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll come your way same time tomorrow. Do have a lovely day.